Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the GoldenFox podcast. As this podcast is going on, there's a bit of a weird malfunction going on with the stream. So you're only going to see the waves coming off of me. You're not going to hear it off of the roster call for some reason because it doesn't seem to register where the sound is directing itself to. So I do apologize in advance for that. Also, watch, I'm going to forget what it is, but as you can see on the left of the screen, we see who's currently involved. There are some who will come and some who will go, but we currently have Raiza, Ryley, and Shouka. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm here.
I saw Spider-Verse again.
I'm alive.
All right, then.
I'm eating a chicken sandwich.
I am having a mac and cheese with a mixture of hot dog slices.
Did you get that from last night's video?
No, okay, so even before then, I used to do that. I used to mix hot dog slices from mixing it with mac and cheese. And for those who don't know, last night I did a stream on my secondary channel where we're basically just going over various recipes that this guy goes by the name of Zach Coy, I think his name is. And he has a fast-paced editing of different kinds of meals that he makes. Some of which are what the actual to, okay, that looks pretty good, to creative, and yeah, I'd be down for it. So, as we talk about this podcast, the following topics we'll be going over will be... Hang on, I'm looking through everything. We're going to be talking about Helluva boss. Which one? Yes. We also have Spider-Man... yeah, we do have Across the Spider-Verse to talk about. That's one of the final topics. But we'll also be talking about Nintendo Direct, and I'm going to assume that's going to be a really long topic. So, with that being said, this was another while since I'd done another one of these podcasts, and to tell you the truth, I didn't have much to talk about during May, because the most that somebody told me is well, there's the Little Mermaid remake coming out, and I'm like, screw that.
No.
I've heard it was decent.
No.
I'll be honest. I haven't heard negative things about it.
Just no.
I'll probably watch it online for free, realistically, but I haven't heard anything negative about that movie.
Maybe on
Which
Disney Plus, but that's it.
Any live action remake, I'm just no.
Yeah, I avoid that stuff like the plague, because it's because I don't want to give any attention or give any support.
Yeah. Be more creative, Disney. Come up with more creative stuff besides just remaking and cash grabbing on franchises that already exist.
I will say I am looking forward to Wish.
Yeah.
I think your dog agrees with me.
Roddy always barks for no reason. I don't understand him.
Did you hear the news about Wish recently, by chance?
No. What's the news about Wish?
We're actually getting a villain song.
Oh.
Did we not have a villain song before?
I think the last one that you could really count as a villain song would be maybe the Shiny song from Moana.
I think they tried to make what we don't talk about Bruno a villain.
I was about to mention that. Yeah,
I wouldn't really call that a villain song.
It's technically not a villain song because they were wrong about everything about Bruno. So
there was no villain in that movie. But
yeah, that is true. That is kind of true. But they did demonize him, so I didn't know if that would count as a.
No, because the villain song would be the main villain singing it himself, and it's usually one of the best songs in the film.
All right, fair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Elemental? I actually liked Elemental, not gonna lie.
I did hear some good things about Elemental. I did hear that it's also bombed at the box office, which I'm like, ooh, yikes.
It's actually been doing better recently, and it's doing better than The Flash right now.
I mean, well, here's the question: Is it on Disney Plus?
No, not yet. It's still in
I was
theaters.
gonna say if it's on Disney Plus, that's probably why it's not doing good in the box office.
No, it's actually neck and neck with Spider-Verse right now. It's not making as much as Spider-Verse, but as far as people are seeing it this weekend, you know?
Huh.
I probably have to wait until I get paid to go actually see the movie.
So I like that because Spider-Verse is really good, but I think Elemental needs some love too.
Because I pre-ordered it on Apple TV, but it's not out yet.
I am willing to give it a watch. I wasn't sure whether or not I wanted to see that while because as I do talk about this, I've had quite an interesting month, and that also includes a bit of an awkward birthday. So at the time of this video, or at the time of this podcast, I'm 35 years old. That's terrifying. I'm 5 more years until I'm 40. Where's my gray hair? And I'm gonna need a cane. God damn it.
I've been getting gray hair since I was 19.
Wait, what, Riley?
I've been getting gray hair since I was 19.
You're
okay?
about 3 years my junior. How the hell do you have gray hair already?
Genetics. My mom had it when she was 16, so.
I literally thought you said you've been in the server since you were 19. I'm like, what the heck?
No.
But yeah, like it also could be from stress, because I heard a lot of people get gray hairs from stress. So.
Oh. And I suppose losing hair is also caused by stress?
No, not always.
Yeah.
But like, because the fact that my parents are getting gray hair just because they blame me for it, and I'm like, oh, great, thank you. Granted, I'm their only kid, and I cause a lot of stress for them, so.
It's better gray hair than no hair as far as I'm concerned. At least you can, like, dye and, you know.
That is true. The feeling of losing hair is terrifying because you're going to look ugly over time.
All man I'm saying is, you can make it. Bald people make it work. If you look at Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Vin Diesel.
Well, those two are buff. That's different.
Keegan
you
Michael
can still
Key.
make it work.
All right. So back to my birthday. I actually had to drive out like during like the wee hours, not wee hours, but the early morning hour, like at around 4:00. I had to drive Chrissy down to the airport because she has another business trip. Like I call them business trips at this point. She goes to many different cons and does a lot of she sells a lot of merchandise. You know, everything she makes. She's making more than I am at my stupid job. I want to make I want a job like hers. And I drive back. I can't drive home at the apartment because they're repaving the asphalt on the parking spots, and it has to be it had to be cleared out until 4:00 in the afternoon. So as I come back, it's 7 a.m. and I'm at the parking lot of my job. It's a supermarket that I have to work at. I already have my work clothes in advance. It's a short day, so I get off at 2:15, and I just have to spend extra time, I don't know, browsing around the mall or something like that, and then coming home. Meanwhile, I'm looking at my phone, and I make a text saying, I don't want to be 35, and everybody is saying, oh, happy birthday, all those birthday wishes and such. I'm always grateful to hear those. One of the most funny things that I have ever heard that definitely lightened my day is something that some people would just really question what Raiza was thinking. So I hope I don't get demonetized for this, but Raiza, what was it you said?
What?
For my birthday?
Oh. Hey there, Sonny boy. Is there a senior citizens discount?
That's not what it was. You know what I'm talking about.
Raiza, you're avoiding
it. Happy anniversary of popping out your mom.
But I'm Tish. And I heard him quote that in a call, and people are like, what the f*** is wrong with you?
See, when I was younger, I used to add it on Facebook. I would go, happy anniversary of popping out your mom's.
Oh! That is a little bit more graphic, but still.
Listen, I was 14 when I did it. It was funny. I was going through a phase.
Yeah, I think
it's not
you're still
a phase, Mom.
It's a way of life.
Right, I think you're still going through that phase.
Shouka, listen, I'm sorry you like bad shows.
Oh!
Wow.
What bad shows?
Walking Dead.
How dare you?
You think it's a bad show?
I don't like it. I stopped liking it after season.
You stopped watching after Carl died. That's what you said.
Yeah, but I solidified it after. Actually, yeah, I stopped watching after Carl died.
How dare you? It's one of the better zombie shows out there. Come on.
Why would I watch a zombie show if I could just play a game of zombies?
I mean, that's kind of fair, but at the same time, I've heard a lot of good praises about Walking Dead for almost a couple of decades at this point. How long has it even been around for?
Since I think it started around the same time as My Little Pony, to be honest.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it started in 2010.
But okay, we're going on a tangent here, but like I need to just mention right now, Dead City is so amazing right now. I love watching it.
All right.
Yeah. The first episode of Walking Dead was December 5th, 2010.
Huh.
Yeah. And anyone in the chat, you need to watch Dead City. It is amazing.
So, speaking of Dead, this has been kind of talked about for a while, and I do want to get this off my chest. I do want to give my condolences to everybody who was in the Titanic submarine. For those who haven't stuck around, there was some kind of submarine project that would go on a tour to see the actual sunken ship of the Titanic somewhere out there in I think it was the Atlantic Ocean. It was somewhere on the East Coast, but apparently there was something wrong with the design where as you dive further underwater, it like some kind of like you have like too many atmospheres that crush it.
I've heard some things about that, but I'll save my opinion until after the podcast.
Oh.
Also, Golden, just so you know, my grandma did tell me that they did find out that it was also being controlled by a remote control. Like, for gaming. And so apparently something happened during that. When they started going down further, they lost connection to it. But then again, this was also a test thing that they were doing, and they're like, oh yeah, this is fine. That's what they said about the Titanic as well, if you remember.
Yikes! Also, somebody mentioned. Somebody, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I would not want to do that. If something's being tested, I'd be like, no. I'd rather wait until it's been tested and shown that it's like safe.
I heard that some of the mechanics, like the suggestions, were like rejected because like the guy who was like controlling it, he was a bit of a wacko, and he didn't want to include older people to control the ship, who is a lot more experienced. They wanted to have like 25-year-olds or something to control it to gain experience, and I'm like, bruh, you're controlling something that goes underneath the ocean that has several amounts of atmospheres that could crush you. Have you seen Abyss? Like The Abyss, directed by James Cameron?
No, I don't think I want to.
Okay, well, one of the characters, he turned into a main antagonist. He was played by Bill Paxton, and he was in one of those single ships, and he's lost control of it. He can't move or anything like that, and he's sinking below, and he's like, no! And then it just completely disintegrates. So...
Yeah, Magical Star told everyone in the chat that it was a Logitech game controller.
Really, really dumb idea. Very stupid.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Don't use a controller like that. Use actual controls.
Yeah, exactly. Hilariously enough, a few people have mentioned that Mr. Beast was invited to go on the submarine. He's like, this I'm out.
Okay, and apparently my grandma told me that there was like a father and son who were in the submarine thing.
A 19-year-old with his dad for Father's Day.
Yeah. And apparently, they were given the tickets by someone else. And apparently the other guy feels really bad because he was like, that was supposed to be us.
Oof.
So, oh my gosh, it's a lot going on right now for that.
I heard something weird about the...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you first.
Oh, I was about to change the topic, but what were you going to say?
I was going to say, about the Mr. Beast thing, I've heard, like, I don't know but he said it as a joke or not, but apparently that... when he said he was invited to do it, it was a joke. I haven't looked fully into it to confirm that or not, but that's what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh yeah, James Cameron also gave his 2 cents on the matter, and yeah, he was disappointed because he's experienced in using that stuff when he was filming for The Abyss and Titanic, or just maybe Titanic.
Why would this get Markiplier's movie canceled? Why? Why would you say that, Dice?
Because of safety precautions.
Okay.
We wouldn't want to see anything happen to Markiplier now, do we?
No, but I'm just curious, why would the submarine issue have anything to do with that? Unless it has something to do with submarines.
All I know is that I give my condolences to everybody who was on that submarine, and it was a very tragic event, but it's also a huge cautionary tale of what to prepare for. Like other people who are experienced in working with this, they know how terrifying it is to work with this stuff. It's very delicate. Mm-hmm. It's also why there's a video that I saw by a channel named 2-Bit Da Vinci, And the dude actually elaborates a lot of its mechanical malfunctional problems that went into it. And he also explains why, as a joke, because there was even reference from, what's his name, Teenage Kraken. It was something Gilman. I'm always forgetting that first name.
Ruby Gilman, I believe it was.
Ruby
Teenage
Gilman,
Kraken.
yeah. At the beginning of that trailer, they said people know about Mars than they know the under of our sea, or know about our sea. And I can see why. The dude says this is why we're more into other things and why we don't dive underwater all the time. It's terrifying. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I have a fear of deep water or water I can't see the bottom of.
I like what Magical Star said. Don't go in submarines. That is a lesson. Also, don't use stupid video game controllers to control a submarine.
Yeah, that was really stupid.
That was stupid on their part.
Also, don't skirt every known safety precaution known to man because you think you're being edgy and finding new inventive ways.
And just leave the Titanic where it is. Don't try to go visit it.
Yeah, no. So, on some lighter notes, there's actually 2 lighter notes. So, I've already shown some people before from my Den streams, and by Den, I mean, like, the chill and vibe streams that I do on my second channel. You guys know who Scammer Payback is, correct?
No.
You don't? Oh, I thought you did. Okay, so Scammer Payback is a channel where a guy or a group of dudes actually search for actual online phone scammers who try to trick people into a lot of things, and they try to pretend to be like old people and say they don't know what to do and everything. Like, they do know, and they'll look for any particular spots, like whether or not their IP is exposed and such, and they track them down. So, it's always like, it's something I would drink to, celebratorily drink to, and I don't know if that's a real word. A scammer got arrested. He was, and he even, like, saw a video of a dude, like, counting all, like, a bunch of bends, about $9,300 worth of money that he scammed somebody through, which is just not cool. So seeing these kind of people get arrested, that's always, it's karma. Like, this is always good news to me because this type of is not okay. So yeah, people in the chat, they're really excited about that. They're like, yeah. Oh, excuse me.
It's okay.
And another bright news that I'm actually happy for, because this channel didn't get really good praise at its heyday, and I didn't understand why. Because it's stupid. Well, it's supposed to be stupid. It's just silly. But the channel SMOSH was bought back by Ian and Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they made a short vlog explaining what happened and everything. So Anthony left SMOSH to do his own thing because he wasn't having fun with SMOSH when a company took over of his. And did you guys not see it, or?
No, I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen it, yeah.
I was never a huge SMOSH fan, but I'm glad for them after they got screwed with the whole, what was the name of that?
Defy Media.
Defy Media, that's right, that whole thing.
And I am happy for them. So I'm definitely looking forward to whenever they decide to make another sketch series. I do remember at one point, I did watch it in the late 2000s. And then I started watching again in the mid 2010s from Keyframe. And I saw a few of its videos, and I had a good chuckle with some of them. Over time, I was kind of forgetting about it, and then it's like, oh, so that happened, or that happened, oh. So go ahead.
No, you finished, no, Ed.
Okay, well, I'll just say that I'm happy with where it's at now. And it seems like they just, they were in a difficult, it feels like one of those kind of biopic stories where they gain the success, but then a feud happens or something bad happens. They reach the lowest point, and then they come back and they reach their highest peak again. Something like that. That kind of formula. But go ahead, Raiza.
I was gonna say, I thought SMOSH, when they added SMOSH games and all that, I thought their content was still really good. I think their content kind of fell off flat after so there was Ian and Anthony. And then their SMOSH Games crew, Mari, Lasercorn, Sohinki, and Joven. I thought the SMOSH Games group they were fantastic. They were funny.
Yeah, they did the Honest Game trailers.
Yeah. They were all really. I think after they left is when to me SMOSH started declining. Well, not really I wouldn't say declining because they were still going strong, but I would say their content was at their lowest. But like the new people they gotten, especially like Damien and Shane, they carried that channel on their backs.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Yeah. I just had to turn the fan on. If anybody's hearing the noise in the background, it gets hot in here. Like, okay, so apparently summer started, and something I always have to do is that from 5 to 8, I have to turn out the air conditioning and use as minimal electricity as much as possible, because otherwise the Edison bill will skyrocket. And I think that's something that can, like, I think Shouka can also vouch for me, because that's I think that's just directly in California. Maybe I could be wrong.
Yeah. I mean, we have the ceiling fans on right now because we don't want to turn on the air conditioning.
Yeah, and in case it wasn't obvious before, I hate the summer. It sucks.
Yeah. Well, in our area, our weather's been so weird. Like, we got a breeze coming in our area, and I'm like, it's not even summer anymore at this point. It feels like we went straight into fall early. I was like, why? Why is the weather all screwed up?
Like, if it's cool weather, I'm cool with it. No pun intended. Because it's like, oh, yes, give me that nice breeze. Like, not super cold like the winter. Because there are times like, okay, like, I don't mind the winter. Like, even if I were to freeze my ass off, like, better that than the summer. Still not comfortable. Because at least if you're freezing, you can actually, like, cover yourself up with something. If you're hot, oh, God. You gotta find someplace cool.
I personally like the winter a lot more when it comes to me visiting my mom, because one, it's not over 100 degrees in Northern California, and I don't get bitten by bugs in the winter, it seems like.
Oh yeah, the bugs. That's the other problem.
Because I have, I think, A negative blood, I think, and so I have the blood type that bugs just like love to chew on.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I'm like, we need to figure this out, because I hate having. I still have bug bites from when I was up there this last time, and we're pretty sure it was fleas. And so I'm just like, great. This is why I like other weather when I'm visiting my mom, because the bugs don't want to like kill me when I'm up there.
I will still never forget when last summer I had a fly infestation. Flies were everywhere. It's just
Oh yeah, I think you mentioned that.
I did. Like, I mentioned it a couple of times, but I always like bringing it up because I like to pass the knowledge to other people. After my experience of, like, first of which, like, Christy and I were, like, passing over a raid can, and we were spraying all over the living room to the point where it's like, I come and briefly look in, and everything is dead. I'm like, good. So I vacuum, I go to clean everything up. A couple more flies are coming in. Like, where are they coming from? So I had to get, like, an insect expert and everything. Eventually, it just came to a point where I just went and I would spot a fly and take it on my own hands. At least it was still better than just having, like, 30 or 40 flies in the same, like, living room. Like, oh, God.
Yeah.
The
heat is just, like, no.
So,
like,
the knowledge that I pass on to others, if you're trying to swat a fly, if you're using a fly swatter and that's it, they're going to see everything. They're going to fly everywhere. But if you use a spray, make it a, like, it could be a water spray, just to make it more insulting, make it a, not a raid spray, because that could be dangerous, but, what's it called?
Like,
it's like, I'm trying to find the word, like, I know what it is. It's like one of those air sprays.
Because when I work at the college and we have, like, an infestation of, like, ants in our kitchen, which is stupid enough, it's like we spray all over the kitchen with, like, bleach, and it kills them, but we're not allowed to use the bleach in the kitchen apparently to spray the bugs anymore.
That word is escaping me. Screw it. Just use a spray. It could be a water spray. It could be something else. And when it's around that area, yeah, you're going to be able to get them, and they'll start to slow down because it puts some weight onto them, and they'll also have trouble seeing. And as soon as they land somewhere and they're being slow, bam! You smack them. If that's the strategy. Use a spray, slows them down, and then you use... Yeah, the spray is basically a shield. the swatter is your sword, basically.
Or get like one of those things that hang on the ceiling for the flies to fly into and get stuck.
I know what you're talking about. I actually
fly paper.
Yeah, like I actually had one of those as a final straw. Like as I kept fighting them and everything, I did have what is a nightlight, but on the because they're so attracted to it. On the other side, they have one of the sticky papers, and they have that on there. And then I looked. There were so many, including some like baby flies. I'm like, oh wow. I don't know where they were coming from, but I got them. And sometimes in the middle of the night when I go to get a drink, and I'm just there, like you can hear them struggle. So I kind of peek over and I'm like, flies are disgusting. They are the only purpose the only purpose they serve is to be food for spiders. That's literally it.
Yeah. My dogs tend to go after the flies, but then they don't do a good job in catching them. And I'm like, where's your purpose? Where's your purpose in this house if you can't go after the flies? Anyways, we're getting on tangents.
Yeah, we definitely are. I'm looking for anything else to like mention before we get to the meat and topic of let's see, if I do swatter, I use a spray can. Spray works. Pesky ants trying to get my food. Oh,
don't even get started on mosquitoes. I hate those even more when I go camping.
Yeah, mosquitoes are a pain. Go ahead.
Once again, it's the whole A negative blood thing with me. Whenever I go camping, the freaking bug repellent doesn't even work on me. They're like, oh yeah, just put bug repellent on. No, that doesn't help me. I still go home with bug bites.
I still remember a couple of years ago, when Will was still in the apartment. For some reason, we had an infestation of roaches.
Ugh.
And the thing that sucks about roaches, if you squash them directly, it'll unleash a pheromone that tracks more roaches.
Oh gosh.
So at one point I was like, screw this shit, and I went and got myself one of those roach traps that you just stick around, and it's like roaches. No, I meant roaches, like cockroaches.
Yeah, those things that are. No.
So yeah, I had a couple of those bug traps that have like some kind of sticky thing in there. Kind of smells like peanut butter, and I slide them all over the place. I tweet about it at one point. Unfortunately, something happened on my Twitter where all those tweets are gone. Thanks, Twitter. But like some people like, get him. Somebody made a GIF giving a suggestion where they're just like two guys panning on something. I'm like, no. If you squash a cockroach, you're going to release a pheromone that draws more to them.
Yeah.
Burn them.
Burn? Did you say burn them?
Burn.
No.
Dude, actually, my brother once had a friend who would collect deadly spiders. Well, like if they invaded their house. Like at one point, he almost got bit by a recluse. I'm like, oh, that would have been bad news.
Yeah.
He would capture them in a bottle or one of those jars, like you know those empty glass jars. He would capture
mason jar.
A mason jar, yeah. And then he would throw he would toss in a match and just watch them burn alive, and it makes this big screech.
That is pretty
messed up. I know.
No, I feel bad for the spider. Then at that point, they don't even get a chance to live.
I hate spiders.
Same. Like I even heard.
I mean, I don't like spiders either, but still.
I heard from Logic he can deal with spiders as long as they're not in the same room as him.
So in other words, he can't deal with them.
Like he's fine if they're like not near him.
That's pretty funny.
Like, because Bear said he had to help him kill a spider or attempt to kill one that was in the room, and then just hid, and then they never found it.
Oh no, there were times when Key would come in and say, "Brad, can you take care of when she's about to get ready to shower?" And I look, "Oh, there's you," and I go to grab a yeah, it's a roach. I'm like grabbing it with like a paper towel, and I flush it down the toilet. Like, get the hell out of here! All right, honey, it's safe. She hates bugs. She's very bug phobic.
I can agree with that.
Yeah,
I can agree with that. Even simple horror movie monster things like about arachnophobia and everything. Nope, I will not touch those.
I remember that movie. That movie was so stupid.
It's probably why I don't like the movie It either, because it turns into a spider and I don't like it. Or the other mother, because the other mother also turns into a spider.
Or eight-legged freaks.
Yeah.
All right. So we've been going on tangents for quite a while. We ready to get into the meaty topics?
Yes.
All right. So one of our first 4 topics we're going over is Helluva Boss. So this is the latest season 2 episode, and I say season 2 because there was another Helluva Boss episode that came out. But in this one, Stolas gets captured by Stryker, and I've been waiting a long time to hear back from this part of the episode. So I was looking forward to this one when I heard about it. I'm like, oh shit. It definitely has its moments. I will give you that. I'm sure some people have some things to say. Raiza, you wanted to say something?
What am I going to say? Golden, this is in season 1, episode 8, so it's not waifu.
Okay,
I mean,
put aside your favoritism for now, you dipshit.
I have something to say about this episode.
Go ahead, Shouka.
One, and I already told Raiza this, they need to bring back Norman Reedus for Stryker. They need to. I know he's been busy, but he needs to come back. His energy and his voice fits more perfectly, in my opinion. But besides that, I love the parts where we see Blitzo and Luna. And Luna's just freaking out at the doctor's office. She does not want to get shots.
I do want to add for the record that I like there's a part of me that finds that hilarious, but at the same time I feel really, really bad. Like, I'm kind of laughing for the wrong reasons. I guess that can be said for a Helluva Boss, but it's when Blitz enters the waiting room and lets the nurse at the counter know. It's like, I can't spell. I can't read either. And you can tell how annoyed he is. Ow, it's Blitz. Ow. Oh, it's silent dipshit.
I just love Luna's reaction the entire time. She's like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And then when she sees that needle, she goes full on, like, dog mode.
Because he's full on, nope, with all the growls.
To be honest, that's how I used to be. Like, I used to be like that, not gonna lie, with shots. I'd be like, no, I don't want to get a shot. Now I'm just like, okay, I know I have to get them.
Like, as an adult, but as a kid, it's terrifying. Yeah. Because it's a needle going inside your arm, and it hurts like hell. I used to hate getting shots. I used to actually, well, not necessarily fight, but I would, like, tense my muscles when I feel the needle. I'm like, oh, God, and it actually hurts a lot more when you do that. Go ahead, Raiza.
No, I like the scene where Moxie was just like, what does he look like, Your Highness? Sexy? That's Stryker!
Oh my gosh, yeah, that part was also funny. I'm just like, oh, that took less than 2 seconds for them to figure that out.
I also find it hilarious that Stryker has his own theme song and he does not approve of it.
No, Stryker. To answer your question, I don't remember who voices Stryker in this season, but the original voice actor was Norman Reedus in season 1. And someone mentioned that they just realized that Negan from The Walking Dead was in Tekken 7. That's been a known thing already.
Also, but Joker DHX, I think that's pretty unanimous when it comes to Stella. We literally haven't seen. Go ahead.
I was like, I actually just introduced a friend to Helluva Boss because she'd never seen it. She watched the entire series in one day, and she was like, "God, I like every character except Stella."
Like, I'm catching up on the older episodes because I've watched the new ones first, so I can talk about them tonight. But like, oh my gosh, I love Stolas' daughter. She's me in a nutshell, and how I act around my parents. I'm just like, no, I don't. Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to be here.
Well, I mean,
like every time I go places with my parents, I'm like, I don't want to be here.
I mean, Octavia's like she had to grow up in a hostile environment that just badly reconditioned her. And that actually makes me have feelings for her because, like, it's a situation that is beyond her control. However, I do like that Stolas, despite his position and even his sexual identity, he still loves his daughter. He loves Octavia. And I like that Stryker kind of uses that against him. Like, you do anything to my daughter, I will destroy you.
Like, I kind of see myself in Octavia's position because of her parents like going through like this hard time, I mean, granted, they're not technically divorced, but I think they should be at this point.
Absolutely.
But like growing up, I had parents who were divorced, and like the fact that she's going through this position where she's like, I want nothing to do with both my parents. I feel like I feel like that sometimes because of the fact that both my parents kind of have their own thing now. We're just like, oh, we want to go do this, but like we're not gonna. Like one of my parents doesn't really invite me to a whole lot of stuff, but like it's like I kind of feel for her in that sense because if your parents don't really want, if one parent doesn't want to do anything with you, you really don't want to be there for the other parent pretty much half the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of feel for her in that sense.
Okay. Well, the waves are all acting up now. I do apologize for that look.
Yeah, I just realized.
What's that?
That nurse said, I can't read.
Yeah.
But she could read Blitz's name perfectly fine.
You know what? That is kind of true. I also like that that Blitz had to hold back the R word. So I can't see that. Because like you could tell how deadpan like the nurse's face looks. It's like, how is it that she got this kind of job? Is the nurse blind? No. If the nurse was blind, she wouldn't have been able to read Blitz's name.
Oh, I could tell you. He was very green. Can't say it.
I think also my favorite other scene from that entire situation was I love how when Blitzo went to go sit down and wait, like Luna went under the chairs. She's like hiding like a dog. That's normally how dogs would act when they go to the vet. My dog, no, he's very overjoyed to go to the vet.
They're in the sloth ring. The employers could not care less. Okay, then.
But yeah, this episode made me love Luna even more.
Like, for a couple of episodes now, Luna hasn't really had much of a line of dialogue. Like, neither this or X's and O's.
I haven't gotten to that episode still, so.
Go ahead, Raiza.
So, I think they said, there wasn't actually, the whole reason why she didn't have lines wasn't actually the reason. It's just how Vic's, they written the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, it was just convenient. But, she was going through some emotional things. I think something about her husband or something.
Oh.
I can't remember exactly the details. But it was like an anniversary thing of her husband or something.
Oh, okay, so she needed the time off.
Yeah. But it worked out because she didn't have any lines in those two episodes anyway, so it was just like, oh well, you get a little time off. There you
go. Okay. So that's their nice workaround. And I wish the voice actress the best. So I will say that the action scenes in this episode was pretty fun. Not up to, honestly, it's not up to date with the other, what was it? It's the one where Blitz and Moxie were captured, and they got, like, intoxicated with some kind of, like, truth gas. And then
Truth Seekers.
Yeah, and they started to, like, hallucinate, like, their terrifying nightmares and such. Like, with Moxie, it's like a Disney musical. With, Blitz, it's like the fourth wall terrifying.
Yeah.
But the actual action sequence in that one is like, it's almost unreachable at this point. Until like Stolas comes into the rescue.
We lost Ryley.
Oh, well, Ryley died. Rest in peace, Ryley.
So rest in peace to Ryley. We will miss you.
It's probably an internet connection. I will say this though, I do remember how like everybody was weaponizing their innuendos against Stryker, and I'm just like, what, Ryley?
Ryley, you left.
Yeah, you kicked out for a second.
It like kicked me for a sec for some reason. I don't know why. It said I didn't have permission to speak, and I don't know.
What? Why?
So, but yeah, as I was saying, I will say that to the credit in the fight sequence between Stryker, Moxie, and Millie, I like that they like use their innuendos against him. Like, oh, Blitz stabs me harder and deeper. I'm like, oh god, what the hell?
Okay, to be honest, when I heard that, I really was very like, okay, I was not expecting this. It's a good thing I was wearing headphones when I was watching the episode, but oh my gosh. I was like, what in the world is this? Oh my gosh, it's like a really bad, like, I don't know if I'm even allowed to say the word on here, but you know what I mean, Golden.
Yeah. There's a bunch of words we have to, like, censor. Like, as is, like, I have to, like, spend the effort censoring out. Like, I have to listen to, like, a couple of hours worth, however long the podcast is, just so that I don't get demonetized. The plus side is I did hear from some people they enjoy the censor sounds, which is the wrong sound effect from Mario World. Da-da, da-da.
Yeah.
Like, da-da.
I enjoy it too.
I do tend to keep a separate track, and I do plan the same thing for many other projects in the future to include like some kind of censor portion, because people enjoy the swearing, but there's also those who enjoy the censorship.
Like,
yes, Equestria guy, he knows what I'm talking about.
Like save it for like save the censoring, like uncensored version for like Patreon or something.
Yeah, I tend to do that. So that way, like, because no other place is going to accept it. So
yeah,
I mean, on the plus side, you get your money's worth this time because I haven't been doing much this year.
Yeah.
Da-da.
we need that in the soundboard.
All right. So, have I missed anything with Helluva Boss?
For this specific episode?
Yeah.
So I will say at the ending of this episode, I don't know if anyone caught the roses.
Oh, I think I did. Were they like eyeballs? Reference to Hazbin Hotel?
No. So okay, so you didn't catch
that's another
it.
thing. That's another thing.
So whenever Stolas was laying in bed and the petals were falling, it was symbolic.
Oh.
To she loves me, she loves me not. She loves me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I also mentioned something about that entire sequence of the scene where Stolas is, like, texting Blitzo.
Oh.
I felt very bad for him. I felt terrible that he said, like, oh, you can come visit me if you want, because I'm going to be in here for a while. And then he just starts typing and then just never texts him back after that. I'm like, oh, I feel bad for you.
I told Wolfhead about that. I was like, did you see the roses? He said, what about the roses? And I told him, he was like, no.
Like, that part I felt for Stolas there at that point. I was like, I feel like that at some points when, like, even when people don't text me back right away, I feel like, did I say something wrong? Like, did I do something to upset someone? Like, you know this, Golden. I've told you about it before.
Yeah.
But it's like, I feel for Stolas in that moment. I'm just like, oh, that hurts. That hurts me.
But there is a part of Blitz who actually has feelings for Stolas.
Yeah, like he cared when he was like kidnapped, but he couldn't really just like ditch his daughter to go help him.
Especially if it's like 5 years of waiting. It's like, yeah. No.
Like no, your daughter needs this right now. You can wait another 5 years for the next one. Just get this over with for her. But, like, I felt bad for Stolas. I really did. He goes through enough as it is, and then the fact that Blitzo just didn't respond to him, I'm just like, oh, that hurts.
Yep. So.
And then that scene with the flowers made sense. I was like, oh. Oh,
yeah. So, I think that kind of wraps it up for Western Energy. I think it's a good episode. I wouldn't put it up there with the other episodes that I enjoyed so far with Season 2, but it's still fun. My favorite still has to be the one where they're in LA and X's and O's. Then that's because what?
I was gonna say as of right now because I've only seen up until Harvest Festival. I like Harvest Festival.
Well, you have much more to catch up on because some of the later episodes are special treats. Anyway, that being said, Raiza, I think you know we're ready for.
Cotton candy.
Sorry, so I'm gonna let you take the floor off this one. I have to go get another drink. I'll be right back.
Oh my god, I love this episode. I genuinely think this is probably my favorite episode in the series. Like I think I've watched it probably 5 times now, and I still can't get over it.
I've only seen it the one time, and I cannot get that song stuck out of my head.
And there she is, Queen Bee. She's great.
Once again, I felt bad for Luna in this episode just because of multiple different reasons. The fact that she had a major crush on Tex, and she finds out that his girlfriend is there and pretty much in charge of this entire thing. And then also another thing that her dad had to come to try to get her because she felt really upset about the Tex situation.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, we could try one more time." And I'm like, "No, don't. If you're feeling upset, do not go back." And then her dad just kind of embarrassed her the entire time.
The thing about so here's the thing. If people know how I talk about Helluva Boss, I've said this before. Luna is one of my least favorite characters of the main cast because I genuinely think she gets the least amount of development, and every time she does get shown off, she's just shown off as a bitch for no reason.
I mean,
and to me, that's very annoying. But at the same, it's like kind of part of her character, but it's just like, as far as I'm aware, that's all her character is, and it's not interesting to me.
I mean, granted, she's supposed to be the aesthetic of like a goth, and also the fact of like she's supposed to be shown as like an angsty teenager.
I mean, here's the thing, though. I get that, but here's the thing. I've had many goth girlfriends, not actual girlfriends, but friends that are girls that were goth in high school. None of them were even equivalent or a fraction of what Luna is, nor were they like Omega. And it's just like, to me, the way Luna acts is I mean, I could be wrong, but maybe I just never seen the right goth girls. But to me, it's not realistic to me. So like to me, like the only like exceptions, like only like I kind of like tolerate it because like her being in juvie, or I guess the pound and all that shit, I guess it'd be the equivalent of juvie.
Okay. Yeah.
But there's the again, what's it called? So I think with Queen Bee, like I'm glad we saw more of Tex again. Like outside this, like it made me kind of happy we saw him more because we learned a bit more of him. He clearly likes Luna as a friend. He wants to help her get out more, and that's wonderful. Great, that's like the greatest like guy friend you can have.
Yeah.
And with Queen Bee, I'm so glad how they written her because I was worried when I first saw her. I was like, they're gonna make her like the love triangle bullshit, aren't they? And I'm so glad I was wrong. She is like the girlfriend Luna needs. I hope to God we see more of this character in the future because one, the fact of the matter was that she is like Omega extrovert and she's gonna help Luna make friends. She needs that.
Yeah.
And even like when Luna was just like acting to her, she kind of brushed it off. She said, oh, okay, she doesn't know how to respond. It's no big deal. So I'm gonna kill her with kindness, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with and also people didn't notice. I don't know if people ever noticed this, but if you go back to the Hollywood episode when she was on when Luna was on her Instagram, two of the people she talked to at the party she follows on Instagram.
Oh.
Yeah. So like she did achieve making friends, which is great. And like another big part, like I think these two characters are gonna be a key to improve Luna from my own perspective, and I hope I'm right about that, and I hope it stays that way. And with Blitz, so here's the sad thing about Blitz. I don't know if anyone caught this. So whenever Luna was dragging him back to their house, you see the pictures in the background, but you see him all scribbled out of Blitz's face.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was just like, oh no. Yeah, the fact that B was voiced by Kesha, I love it because it impacts more of the series. Because like how her biggest video was a Kesha cover, so it made sense to bring Kesha in there.
It also it also proves that of what animation on YouTube can bring forth, because like up until in recent times, animated projects have always been left under the rug all the time.
Yeah.
And it sucks because when it comes to the algorithm, you have to stay consistent with your uploads. And when it comes to animation, they take time. And I mean a lot of time and a lot of patience. And it's the sad thing that we live in a day and age where we have to have quantity over quality instead of quality over quantity, you know? And it's frustrating. Because you could be working on a project and could be like the greatest thing since your previous one, but then you got to rush it out and get it out there.
Yeah. Still, I still kind of felt bad for Luna though, because you can honestly tell, like you could tell that she had a crush on Tex.
Yeah, and seeing that he was already taken, it's like, oh.
Yeah, that also shot me in my past with like high school and all that. It's like, you know how in high school you had like crushes and everything?
Yeah.
And like you wanted to like talk to them, but you were like not sure if you wanted to. And then when you saw later, like, oh yeah, they're with someone, like that kind of made it awkward. So like, it kind of felt like that for me. I'm like, oh no, this
kind of remind me. You kind of remind me of that scene from Stranger Things when Robin in season 4 was about to walk to someone she had feelings for, and then somebody else came in. It's like, oh no.
Yeah. So like, I feel like the specific episode like hit too close to home for me because it kind of triggered, like not triggered, but like reminded me of my high school years because they're like, oh. I mean, I shouldn't feel that way now because I obviously am dating someone, but like the fact that like my brain went to that, I'm like, oh no, I feel really bad for Luna now at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, as much as I love this episode, I do have a gripe.
Okay.
I think, and it's sucky because the gripe is Luna. I think Luna being a was not called for at all. Whenever Vortex and B were just like, hey, your dad's acting kind of funny.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And she's like, oh no, that's just Blitz being Blitz. And Queen Bee's like, no, honey, listen, I've been partying for a very long time, and I can see people getting up just to get up. Clearly, there's something wrong with him. And then Luna snaps at her, and I'm just like, what the like, why? Like,
no,
what
I
you
know,
like?
I know what you're talking about, and
they needed.
Go ahead.
They needed some sort of conflict or something. I get it, but it's just like. It bothers me because what bothers me about it is because you see what happens here, and then you fast forward to a Hollywood episode where Luna clearly shows that she cares about Blitz, and it's just like, and you see this, and it's just like, what is like? Do you care? Do you not care? Or what? What the?
Yeah.
I mean, you clearly claimed that he was your dad when he was beating a demon in a drinking contest.
Yeah,
but all of a sudden, when someone's saying that your dad's like being a, and it's like
also like embarrassment for Luna in that case though, because I feel like with the situation Luna's in of Blitz being like her adoptive dad and like the job he does, maybe it embarrasses her.
Well, I don't think anyone. I'm gonna be real. I don't think anyone knows what. I'm starting to think that no one in hell cares what Blitz does. That's another topic I want to bring up. Actually, I'll let Golden say something first, and then I'll bring my vision up.
So Spinel Lover kind of said it best, saying that it was intentional. She was definitely out of her comfort zone in that episode, so she didn't know how to react properly. And up until this point, her behavior has shown to be the big obstacle. Like, it makes her unlikable with that, like you pointed out. Obviously, like, I don't know how much development we've seen with Luna in Season 2 because she was hardly the focus so far. Somebody else pointed out, she is also still kind of dealing with her Tex crush. That is true. What I will give credit to is that they definitely made Queen Bee very likable. Like, I thought she was going to be like some kind of like I thought they were going to give her like a rivalry personality with Luna, but no, it kind of breaks it apart from what other characters had issues with other characters, like with Blitz and that one lady's face who took his parking spot.
Oh.
Yeah, I
just finished that episode too, so I kind of know what you're talking about.
There's Stryker who goes after Stolas, but also has a bit of a rivalry with Moxie and Millie. There's a bit of a rivalry with like each of the characters. So seeing Queen Bee be at this point, like, she's a sweetheart talking to Luna, and it definitely like breaks that apart. Like, I suddenly drew a blank. I apologize for that gap of silence. I think you get what I mean.
Yeah. Can I also mention something that they mentioned in the chat about Luna being out of her comfort zone? I kind of feel like the vibe that Luna gives is more of like an introvert type of personality.
I guess so.
Like,
hi, Duff.
Like, but like, I kind of feel like she gave off that personality of like being an introvert, and so like she kind of was out of her comfort zone a lot. And once again, I see things in that personality, and I'm like thinking, oh, that kind of reminds me of Logic in a way, because you know how he's like not really talkative, and he's more like, what's the word? Like, Golden, what's the word I'm looking for?
Not too talkative.
I don't know.
Yeah, not too talkative, and like kind of
introverted.
Introverted, but like he's getting a little bit better where he can like. I mean, people have said that he's more talkative now more than he was before, but like he still kind of shows it. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. Not saying that at all. It's just like it kind of reminds me of Luna, because Luna, you could tell she's introverted, you could tell she's shy, and that she doesn't really want to talk to people. But when she does talk to people, she kind of messes things up and like says the wrong thing half the time.
Yeah.
So I want to. Okay, so here's the thing. I want to argue this right quick. First thing with the her being in I can't remember whoever said it. It was like her dad being her being outside her comfort zone. I get that, but just because you're being out of your comfort zone does not excuse you using like common sense and like manners.
I think that also has more to do with how she has trouble coping with things and doesn't do it properly. Go ahead.
But you just like think of it this way: put yourself in Luna's shoes. If you were to say, if you're partying and two people said, "Hey, I'm not trying to be a buzzkill or embarrass you, but like your dad is kind of like acting up. Can you do something about it? Or can you check on him?" Like, she didn't even say do something about it. She was like, "Can you check on him? Can you see if he's okay?" Like, they were showing compassion, which was something. That's the thing. But as soon as they said that, Luna even turned it with like snarkiness, and I've always snarky, but her just being a bitch. And I was just like, that was literally not necessary in the slightest, because Queen Bee was being the nicest she should have been. Honestly, after the first snap, I would have her.
Yeah. I can see where you're coming from that. It's just like, I feel like also, I kind of feel for Luna with the fact that she did say, and she did make a good point with saying like, well, you don't know our family like you think you do. Like, which she's right. You don't really know what they're going through right now. So,
but here's the thing though, she doesn't even know she doesn't know jack about the whole Stolas thing that just happened. She doesn't know anything about it. Like, this took place the exact same time, if not like maybe a 5 minute gap. But like the thing about it is, it's just like Luna doesn't even know what's up. So what gives her the right to say, "Oh, you don't know what my dad's going through right now," even though she doesn't know what the f*** is going on. As far as she's aware, her dad likes to spy on Moxie and Millie, and he her once a month. That's all she knows.
That's creepy enough as it is.
To quote Moxie, "Are you filming us right now?"
And it's just like, I don't want to hate Luna. I really don't. I like her design. But like, she does like this, that drives me insane. I don't want to hate the character, but like, she does not give me any reason to not like her.
Yeah.
I do hope that Luna's character like develops better in that regard, and hopefully there's a sense of improvement with that.
I'm still not done.
Can I mention one? Oh, I'm sorry.
And
done. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't done. I'm sorry. But and also of her saying, "Oh, she was over text." She wasn't over text. Yeah, she was over text as soon as she saw Dennis, the Hellhound. Funny fact that Hellhound was also named Dennis. There were 2 Dennises at that party. But the Hellhound that was at the Holly doesn't want to leave yet. She blushed at the sight of him twice. So she got interest at him. So it's not like I get it, the text sucked, but it's not like she drew over that. It was it lasted maybe 5-10 seconds, and then she's oh, there's another piece of candy. Yum. I don't know. It's just a lot of things limited this episode is almost unexcusable. But I feel like Queen Bee and Tex are going to be the characters are going to be the characters that help, not only that rehabilitate Luna, but I think they're going to help her become more social and actually help being nice, or let her learn compassion and like that.
Yeah. Can I mention something about Luna and comparing it to a different character in a different show?
Go ahead.
Sure.
So with you saying that you want to see more development in her and have her attitude changes, and I know I'm gonna get crap from Raiza about this because we were just talking about this, but it kind of reminds me of the character Negan from The Walking Dead, how he started off as a jerk pretty much because he spoilers killed Glenn and Abraham, and he pretty much left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. And as the newer seasons came, he did get kind of reformed in a way where he was given more freedom to try to help out in the community, and especially in Dead City, he is trying to bring himself closer with Maggie by helping her find her son. So it's there's character arcs that you can go through. I agree. I kind of want to see it with Luna, where she kind of embraces her problems more, because maybe then people will like her more if she starts tackling her issues. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
I'm gonna say I think Negan and Luna are completely different things, because for one, Negan was just a psychotic, but it wasn't here's the thing. I think Negan being an asshole and Luna being an asshole are 2 very different things. For one, the environment, first of all, this is normal civilization for Luna versus a world apocalypse for Negan. So his whole mindset at the beginning of his mindset is the weak die and the strong survive. That's why he had his whole bullshit thing. And if we're gonna go in the comic route, I'm gonna go in the comic route. The only reason Negan changed his ways or got better is because of Carl. Carl was the biggest impact on Negan.
But can I also mention something? Since you said you stopped watching the show after Carl died, there was a specific episode where we actually got to see Negan's past before the apocalypse, and how he was generally a terrible person even to his wife, because he was messing around with his wife's friend before the apocalypse. But then when he found out that his wife had cancer, he tried every which way to help her survive during that time. And when he lost her, he was a mess. That's why he became Negan the way he is, or he was. Because he couldn't deal with it, and that's why he had that baseball bat named after his wife.
Oh yeah, I know that.
But the fact that we got to see a little bit of him before then, he was trying to tackle with that problem during that episode. He was trying to get rid of the Negan that he was, because he wanted to be a better person. So yeah, there was that one episode that we had, but I want to see that with Luna. I want to see her tackle her problems that she has, because I think she can be a really great character. If she were to lessen her aggressiveness and maybe once in a while not yell at people.
and not just be there for furry bait, you know?
Yeah, or just the fact of her treating her dad better.
But here's the thing, though. I'm gonna call out Joker on this one. He's saying that people complain about Millie not having any sort of development like Smoxy, Blitzo, and Stolas. There's two things about that. One, Luna has more or less development than Millie does, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Two, they've said that Helluva Boz is more primary focus on the males, while Hazbin Hotel is being focused more on the females. But that doesn't mean that the opposite genders of each show isn't going to get development at all. It's just they're more focused. Yeah, which is not a bad thing. It's whatever.
Yeah, it's not.
So that's why, and that's my biggest thing about. Like I said, I can't compare Negan to Luna at all. I think that's kind of like
apples and oranges to you.
Kind of, but like, I don't know. I just don't think it's a good comparison. I get it. I just don't think it's a good one. No offense.
Okay. I think we should probably move on to the next topic because we've been on like this.
Yeah,
for like
I was about to ask. Like, wow, Raiza, you had a lot to say.
I love this.
Can I say one more thing about Queen Bee before we move on?
Okay.
Her design, like her arms, remind me of Angel Dust.
Yeah, I think there may have been a little inspiration off of that. And somebody said that she's like a gender bent version of me. I'm like, what?
Like, I want to know, like, is she like the same breed as Angel Dust? Like, I want to know why she has the same type of arms as him.
She's part B, whereas Angel Dust is part spider.
I want to add one more thing. One final thing.
All right, go ahead.
I really want her. I want to so hard. Like, oh my God.
Okay, then on to the next topic.
All right. I also like the one little joke at the very end. Like, okay, yeah, I did need to throw up with
yeah, that was funny.
This is also. Anyways, let's talk about one of the most anticipated movies of this year, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Now, I'm not going to go into any spoilers. We're going to try to avoid that as much as possible because even in this call, the only people who have seen it were Ryley and I, and we also got to let Dusk know.
You need to see it already. It's been a month. You have no excuse.
Ryley, I have an excuse.
You have no excuse.
Ryley, let's calm down. Let's chill out. Let's cool.
Can you hear my reasoning of why I cannot? The fact that, one, I don't have a job right now during the summers. I don't have money to go see the movie. And two, no one in my house wants to go see that movie with me.
You know what? I can probably off right now.
Oh, no. Oh,
hey,
no.
Ryley.
What?
I haven't seen the first one.
You are.
What is wrong with you? That's on home media.
Right.
Yeah, I just been kind of lazy.
What did I miss?
Go watch it.
I know what all happens.
Still, you haven't seen it.
Hi, Dusk.
Hi, what did I miss?
Raiza hasn't seen Spider-Verse.
Neither of the movies.
Raiza.
Yes.
Raiza.
I've been lazy.
Raiza.
Yeah.
Raiza.
I'm sorry.
That's it.
Because I gave my opinion of why I haven't seen it, and it's because of money wise and the fact that no one wants to go with me to see it. That's my excuse.
Well, at least you recognize it's an excuse.
Yes, but I have seen the first one. I have seen the first movie and I love it.
Raiza.
Yeah.
Even Shouka's ahead of you.
Oh,
she got no money.
Knowing the plot,
it's time for me.
Oh, okay. I did not expect that.
Woo! The best animated feature of the year is finally being covered, and I am hyped.
Spinel Lover, thank you for the $10 donation.
Thank you, Spinel Lover.
Thank you.
All right.
That was funny. That was hilarious.
Also, while you were away, Raiza had a very creative use in the soundboard compared to Ryley. So, I will say this, Ryley. Raiza's ahead of you on that.
Let me demonstrate for her.
Okay.
All right, Dusk. There's a character I really want to I want to so bad.
I'm pretty sure I can guess who it is.
So what you're saying is you really want to...
No.
Mine's funnier. Sorry.
Anyway, so Across the Spider-Verse, the sequel to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I was ecstatic when I heard the announcement to that, and I just heard the F-bomb. I have to censor that now. Already, okay, so like I said before, we're going to try to avoid discussing spoilers because I know there are some who haven't seen it yet. Because trust me when I say, go see this, no questions asked. It deserves the rating on Rotten Tomatoes, like in the 90s. So
I can agree with that.
So it's like, obviously it has a beautiful visual aesthetic in what it's trying to represent. And not even that, it has its own particular styles that it explores upon through different universes. That's, at this point, that's nothing new that's said already, because that's already been shown in Into the Spider-Verse, but they just expand on that. So, my feelings on Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is on the lines of how close to home this movie hit me. Like, literally as soon as the movie starts, one of the characters has a temperamental problem. I'm raising my hand in the air. I deal with this shit all the time. To Miles dealing with parental issues and how they choose his life. And I've been in that avenue before. And
I can agree with that. Just from that.
Not to mention not being able to see all your friends.
Yeah.
All these cool people you know, but you can't see them IRL because they live so far away.
Yep. So, yeah, like, that started to really strike some nerves. It did have some very, very serious confrontation in so many ways that if I were to explain it, I will give out spoilers. I'm sure that other people who will want to gush their feelings out about this movie will have better things to say. Dusk, I'm going to give you the floor.
Honestly, this did everything you would want a Spider-Man movie to do and more. It gave an actual conflict on several different levels. Again, no spoilers, but Miles is dealing with a lot in this movie. And it's about finding your path, which I've noticed has been a trend in movies recently. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but that is one of the themes I picked up on. And there was so many laugh out loud moments in this one. Oh my god. Again, no spoilers, but the memes are there. The drama is there. The laughs are there. Everything is there. It's just amazing. And honestly, it sort of touched on bullying a little bit, but in a surprising direction. It touches on so many different subjects. I don't have to tell you that the new spider people who you meet are fascinating in their own way. The jokes are good. Something one of my friends who I went to see it with pointed out is they use a lot of really good language and good ways of explaining without over-explaining and it being in your face.
Yeah, they use those like little comic notes in this corners.
Yes, and they're fantastic because that is part of Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
And there's so many different styles in this movie. There's like, oh my god, they really take the 2D to the 3D to everything in between.
Oh, they use so many different type of styles, so many different type of animation. Like just the first villain we see in the film and his whole style. I'm not gonna go into that, but like,
oh my god, he's hysterical though.
Oh yeah. Not just the main villain, but like, you know, the
first villain.
Yeah.
I know exactly who you're talking about, but he is actually really funny.
Yeah.
And he doesn't mean to be, which is the best part, of course.
And like, I watched the film again today because I just had to see it again now that they also had because they had all those audio issues upon release, and I know it was like an audio mixing issue. Like some theaters weren't mixing it right, some didn't have like full surround sound and all that. So I saw it again today in surround sound and a better picture, and oh my god, Like every single frame, it's just like in the first movie. You could pause the film on almost every single frame, and that is a beautiful piece of art right there.
It is gorgeous. They obviously had their money shots, but every frame in between is beautiful.
Yep.
I feel like there's just so much going on that seeing it twice is actually a really good idea. First of all, keep spoilers to a down low in the chat, guys. Like, maybe don't talk about who is what.
Yeah, we're trying to keep the spoilers to a minimum.
Yeah, like even the chat has to like cooperate on this one. Sorry.
I mean,
I will say I do know what bits and pieces of the movie, so I'm not really too bent out of shape if I know the spoilers.
You don't, but you need to watch it, not just hear bits and pieces, like we said about the first film.
But there's so much in there. It's just so gorgeous and compelling, which is something that is missing from the movie theaters in a lot of other movies these days. It's so creative. They use every angle possible.
It's so visually stimulating that I've been trying to just like get it, like any person I know, normie I know, to go see it, just to know how they experience it, like the visual stimulation from it, you know?
I have heard several people say they got overstimulated, but once you understand the style, it works. And in fact, going to see it again once you're used to the style really helps.
I could say that I really love the art style, though, especially from the first movie. I love it.
Well, the art styles. There's like 100 different art styles in there.
There's multiple Shouka, like
all on the screen at the same
you
time.
see the film, you won't know.
Like, did anyone notice? Did anyone notice Miguel was like the sketchy style, like crayon sketches?
I didn't know, like I didn't notice the crayon, but I didn't notice like a lot of the high tech digital stuff that surrounded his character and stuff like that, especially on the second release. It's like you notice those little details and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, the comedy in the entire
movie.
Oh my god, hold on. Just give me 1 second.
Which part? You thinking about like the India
the Indian Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Pavitra
Papakar or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
No offense meant, but last name was hard to pronounce. But Pavitir, I think was his name.
Yeah.
Was hysterically funny. Oh my god, I want more of him so much.
And he was played by what's his name from Deadpool, the cab driver.
Oh really? Oh
yeah,
my god,
that was.
I love that.
I believe so. Let me double check that, but I believe I was told that was the what's his name, the cab driver for Deadpool.
I know who you're talking about. I forget the name.
Yeah,
but it's like,
yeah, but he was so funny. He had like that sense of humor. Like, two characters are arguing in the foreground, and he's in the background, like posing with such over interest. Like that's so like Spider-Man. Like think of any Spider-Man and Deadpool styles. Like that is the comedy, and they bring it out so well.
Yeah, like it's not just like the comedy, just like everything with the emotional scenes. It's like the way they utilize the art with the emotional scenes, especially in like Gwen's world and stuff like that.
Oh my god, that was beautiful.
It just, even if you're not like totally engaged in the story, or you're like one part is making you kind of like, oh, I don't want to just look at that because it's making me awkward out of embarrassment or whatever, you can still look at the backgrounds, and this, like, again, every frame of this movie I looked at as I was watching, I could see myself pausing and somebody have just a single frame of that as their wallpaper on their computer, you know?
Also, kudos to the Canadian Spider-Man I saw in the background with a hockey stick.
Yeah.
Haha.
I also love the like outside of those visual styles, I like the references. Like they included the Spider-Man PS4, and they actually had a brief cameo appearance with that lady in the shop from Venom.
Yep.
Oh, that's who that was.
Yep.
Okay, I was wondering who that was.
Yeah, that's why she was so blasé about it.
Yeah, I was like, okay, is this a reference to someone? Oh, I never saw the Venom movies. So
Yeah,
that's why.
it's Spider-Man.
I didn't see it
all-
either, but I do remember that, and I do I mostly remember it because in the trailer, Venom goes like, "I will eat both of your arms and both your legs," or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's where I was getting the reference.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how the Spot is played by the same guy who played the post office guy from Klaus. You know?
Oh
But
yeah,
I
that
don't
was
know.
him.
Yeah, that was him. The guy who played the Spot also played the postman in Klaus.
He had a great voice, though, like just the right amount of goofy versus intimidating.
Oh yeah. Oh definitely.
That was impressive.
It's just
Okay, so
oh man, everything.
Jason
Sorry?
Schwartzman, that's his name. Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah. It's like I don't know. It's so hard to, without going into spoilers, to describe like just how this film is like stylistically, and it's just like, and if I feel bad now because you heard the recent news about how overworked some of the animators were, like working almost 12 hours a day to almost like 100 people
That is
burned out.
insane.
Yeah.
And it's just like everybody's like, okay, as much as I want this film to come out next March to see it, I'm just like, okay, give these guys time. They need it. This film is visually.
How much are you willing to bet that Beyond the Spider-Verse is going to be pushed to like 2 more years or something like that?
But they're making another one?
I don't care. Yes, there's going to be another one. It's a trilogy.
They did announce that the sequel was going to be like a 2-parter, and I'm like, you know, I do like that they're naming it separately instead of just naming it part 1 and part 2, like I've seen in a lot of other movies these days.
Yeah.
But that has like an organic connection to the point where you can appreciate, like, you could still like enjoy like Across the Spider-Verse just on its own, despite ending it on a cliffhanger. And yes, it does end on a cliffhanger. I'm trying not to spoil, and yet here I am spoiling. I am shooting myself in the foot.
It's okay. I don't mind spoilers.
Yeah, but you're not the only one listening.
Yeah, you're not the only one, Shouka.
Just go see the movie. That's what it all comes down to.
I agree.
I will try to go see it.
I have already pre-ordered the art book for this film. It's just like I want to see,
gotta be
like,
gorgeous.
I want to see just what went into like each of the frames, and it makes me so much sadder hearing that about how overworked the artists were, because like I believe they had over 1,000 animators working on this film, if I remember hearing correctly. And it's like it shows. Like, oh my god, it's like you go on Twitter and you see some of these artists showing off this work, and I'm just like, I am. It shows, and I don't even know the right words to say.
Like you're astounded.
I'm just amazed that something like this could be made in this kind of day and age, you know, with this much creativity involved.
Yeah, the creativity is right.
Yep. But
I was trying to explain to my dad, who I originally went to see the film with, like why I was so excited for this film versus like every other film, because I am very picky with what I watch. I don't want to spend money, almost $20 on a movie, and like it not be worth my while. But Spider-Verse has shown that there are still dedicated people, and that people who create something so gorgeous can still make a buck, for lack of a better term.
Yep.
That it's still good, that it's still popular, and it will outshine The Little Mermaid.
Yep.
From Disney, a big studio name, and yet it's doing way better because there's actual effort.
It's outshined The Flash.
Yeah, that's not a surprise.
Well, yeah, true.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's why I want them to take their time with the sequel, because that shows if you invest in creativity and time and patience with your artists, they can create an amazing product for you, you know?
Yes. I'd rather wait another entire year for the movie.
Same.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I would rather wait. It's just like I want to see. I want to know that the artists were like really involved and not over and burnt out. You know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Dusk. Like, I'm very picky when it comes to what movies I want to go see. Like, I know for this last month when I was visiting my mom, like I think Spider-Verse came out around the same time I was up there, anyways. But like, the fact that we had to choose between that or seeing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I was just like, I love Guardians of the Galaxy, but I want to see Spider-Verse, and it's like, nah. And then I'm not going to see another movie until October when the Five Nights at Freddy's movies comes out, because I'm just very picky with my movies nowadays because there's not a lot of good ones anymore.
That's why I would see Spider-Verse while it's still in theaters, because it's one of those films you need.
It's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
If any of us would, I would send you money to just go and see the movie. But I also presume there's also time you have to make for it.
Like, I regretted not seeing the first Spider-Verse again in theaters after seeing the first time with Golden.
Yeah, no, I remember we were both in theaters, and I remember we were watching the scene where Spider-Ham or Spider-Pig is like completely using the cartoon sound effects, and I'm hearing you laughing your off. I was like, oh my god.
I will attempt to try to go see the movie before it comes out of theaters. I promise.
Don't go see it if you can't afford it, but it is worthwhile if you do go see it.
I tend to go on Tuesdays anyways when it's cheaper on Tuesdays in our area to go to the theaters. So I will try to do it then.
Perfect.
Hopefully if the movie theater doesn't screw me over with seating.
Yeah.
Honestly, okay, so the theater near our house just got upgraded and it's a deluxe theater now. The seats move like back and forth, like you can adjust them to whatever you want. And there is, even at full length, you can still, like, people can still pass by you, no problem.
Yeah, the stadium seating type thing. Yeah, I love that.
I mean, like, screw me over seating wise, because when I went to go see Dominion, like, I got the worst seat in the entire theater where I could barely see the screen.
Well, hold on. Did you choose your place, or?
I had no choice because all the rest of the seatings were taken because I went on opening weekend for Dominion.
That would do it.
Yeah, but I wanted to see it on opening weekend because I'm a huge fan of Jurassic Park. So I was like, I need to see this.
And we're still, and it's like, I don't know when the sequel's coming out. Like, they said March, but I'm like, everybody's saying, and like even like artists attached to the film are saying there's no way that film is going to be released by March. We are still working hard on it. And I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care if it comes out next Christmas.
Yeah.
I just want to know that they've been given their time, and I want to see the most polished product for the ending of this trilogy that we can get, you know?
It's sort of like the same thing with like the Five Nights at Freddy's movie coming out in October. We've been waiting for so long for it. And it was because they were waiting on a good script. And I'm like, if we were waiting this long for it, it has to be good because we've been waiting a long time for this movie. Like,
well, not to
better
mention,
be good.
Yeah, like not to mention, this is like becoming somewhat of a competitor for being another good game adaptation, and that's a whole different can of worms that they're aiming for.
Yeah, and if we ever do a podcast on that, I would definitely go see it.
Oh,
I would
for sure, yeah,
and then do that because I am a big, like
you're
I'm big
a big
on
horror fan.
Yeah, and like I'm actually planning on seeing this movie, and like I'm gonna see it no matter what. Like
okay,
just the fact that I don't care how long it takes for a movie to come out, as long as they take their time on it and actually make it good. Because they did that with Guardians too, with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Like, how many years did it take for them to come out with this movie? Like,
5 years. 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, no spoilers for this either, but this last movie was amazing. They ended it on a really good note. I loved it.
How much are you willing to bet that Spider-Verse, Beyond the Spider-Verse will be out in, like, let's say 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my god, like at 2028? I'm gonna be 40 by then.
Oh my god, no. I mean, if we have to wait that long for it, it better be good. But like, I would not want to wait that long.
Yeah.
I really want to see it in 3D. I wish I could have been able to see this movie in 3D, but there was no like 3D showings. I managed to get RPX and 4D, where you have the whole chairs like shake along with the scenes in the film, and it is amazing. I love it. I want to see more. I can't wait to see how many artists this inspires in the future, and just like see, like ever since the first Spider-Verse, it has just like spawned a whole new renaissance of 3D animation, and I cannot love it enough for that. And just where like that was always the problem that a lot of us had with 3D animation during like the late 2000s and mid and early 2010s was like, it's not that we have anything against 3D animation. It's just it's being used as a crutch, and there's nothing being interesting and done with it. You know.
Exactly.
And then when we tried to see 2D animation come back with The Princess and the Frog, it didn't do well. People are stupid.
Yeah.
But ever since Spider-Verse and like the Peanuts film, we're seeing all these more stylized 3D films, and it's just like yes.
Didn't this start off with the Lego Movie?
I don't know if you could argue that.
Like,
no,
it kind of looked like it was stop motion. And then I found out, it was all CG the whole time, and I'm like, wait, I thought that had to look like stop motion. Go ahead.
It actually started with Rapunzel or with Tangled.
That movie does not look hand drawn. I'm sorry.
It's not hand drawn.
No. It's not. We were talking about the CGI stuff and everything. Like that's where it started from.
Yeah, no,
that's when they started
I did not see any style in that movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're talking about stylized 3D animation, Shouka, not 3D animation.
I was confused. I thought we were still talking about.
And when it comes, when a Lego movie, I would count that as CGI used to make the illusion of stop motion, which I guess you could use somewhat of an argument for Spider-Verse, considering the type of frame rate it does in a way. I don't know. It's like it. I don't know. Like Spider-Verse has kind of like done its own thing, and I love it with its use of like the Kirby dots, the little what those little like God, I can't remember the name of them, but they're like for filing and stuff like that. There's too much to talk about in this film with all of its different like styles and such. Like you go through, like any expert artist could go through this with a fine toothed comb. I can't wait to see the Cinema Wins video on this for one thing. Honestly,
that Cinema Wins thing is probably going to be a ridiculously long like video. Because there's
I'm gonna enjoy it.
It's just gonna be a dude just raving about the movie almost as long as the movie itself. It's like just go see the movie. The whole movie's a win.
Yeah.
Like, and it's oh my god! There's so much to like comb through this film. Again, any part of this film. If you identify with any section of this film, you could just literally take a screenshot and put it as your wallpaper. Every frame is that beautiful in of itself. I'm sorry if I can't make that clear. It's something that I really thought about as I was watching while seeing the film again.
A question guy has a question. Would Spider-Verse films work with 60 frames per second? No. I don't think so.
No. Unless the film is specifically made for that, yes, but no. When it's and made and forced to go through that 60 FPS process, it can kind of
honestly, the 60 FPS or just higher frame rates are overrated.
I hate it.
What I think it started with. Sorry, I'm thinking of Ryley and when you and Ryley were talking about where the stylized animation came from.
Yeah.
I think it came from Ruby.
Oh, you're talking about the show Ruby that
Logic talks a lot about.
Logic, like,
yeah.
Things like hold on, things like Ruby, Dragon Prince all had that similar style. Sky City, it was another one from like way the hell back.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, those were more like cell shaded type of styles rather than
yes, but it was 3D trying to be 2D.
Oh, that's true.
So I'm wondering if that's where it started, because there was that really awkward stage where all the video games were doing it and all the animes were trying to do it. Like, all of them were trying to do the same thing, and then they all branched off from there.
Yeah, I could see that with Ruby. I could see that.
But I don't think that would really count for, like, mainstream movies don't usually go like that. I think they usually go by a formula of what other big film is usually out there, and that's why it would have to be another film rather than like a TV show. I think that's why I think like more like Spider-Verse or the Peanuts film. You know, the Peanuts movie that came out in like I think 2016 that perfectly 2015 that like perfectly emulated the style of the Peanuts cartoons and comics with its animation.
Yeah. And as I may recall, I think the mouths were 2D animated.
Yeah, I believe so. So
that would make sense also.
Yeah. So it was around like the mid to late 2010s when they really started to experiment with it more.
Mm-hmm.
And
you want a real experimental movie that plays with it? Watch the Chippendale one that came out recently.
Oh god,
that movie
That's
was
a
just
fun one.
That movie was just like an absolute like acid trip.
I mean, when you think of the Chippendale movie, though, it kind of like it's kind of like almost like a ripoff of the Who Framed Roger Rabbit movie, because they started doing that with the 2D animation with
they had that, but they also had claymation. They also had my main issue with the Chippendale movie is that whenever it came to the quote unquote 3D characters, particularly it was Chip or Dale, one of the two who remained 2D, he was just cell shaded CGI.
Yeah, that was kind of cheap.
Like you can tell that, as well as the Peter Pan character.
It's but that's the problem a lot, because a lot of the days with 3D animation, it's so much easier because you already have like a file of their like skeletal structure for them to be moved and stuff.
Yeah,
so
it just shows how lazy they are. It's like, come on, guys, if you wanted to put in some 2D animation, give it your all. We missed that shit.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to see what this film inspires in the future, and it's just expires. I want it to expire every other film.
Big distinction right there, Ryley.
You want to expire.
But I will inspire like companies to actually put in more effort, you know?
Yeah.
In spiders?
In spiders.
I see what you did there, Spinell.
Oh, another good example of like waiting for a movie to come out for so long was Avatar.
Airbender?
No, Avatar, The Way of the Water.
Oh.
Was anyone waiting for it?
Smurfs?
We've been waiting for sequels to come out for years, because
he had been talking about it for over a decade, and he still has like 3 other films planned, and I don't give a shit.
Well, I mean, I like the franchise because like I like the idea of Pandora, but like
I didn't even know it was supposed to be a franchise.
Oh,
I thought it was one and done.
No,
they
started making it a franchise. Yeah,
that's been talked about for like 10 plus years.
We already have like the ideas of like the new movies that are coming out, but like Way of the Water, like it was worth the wait of like how many years has it been since the first one came out? Like
2009.
Yeah, like we've been waiting a long time for another movie like that to come out. I loved the scenery in the first movie, and so when we saw the new one, I'm just like yes, this was worth the wait. I love it. It's pretty.
With Avatar, the franchise, it was big because it was revolutionary at the time, and it's still like people were worried about the second movie. Oh, like what's it gonna do to keep like how is it gonna wow us this time? And the visuals were still very, very stunning. It was a very beautiful movie. Also, he's working on movies 3 and 4 and 5 at the exact same time.
I guess that explains why it took over a decade. But even then, it's like, okay, so I'm not gonna assume it was like I'm not gonna say it was like not the greatest example. Not many people are too big on Avatar. I know there are those who like it, but at the end of the day, the movie is it relies on its own visual experience with an already familiar story.
Mm-hmm. Like if you really just wanted a visual experience, just make it a visual experience. Don't put in a plot. Nothing. You could just be one of those like IMAX thingies. Yeah, like that would be really cool. Exploring an alien planet with alien people, like that would be fine if you just wanted it to be a visual experience. But you keep messing it up with a story.
I would agree, but the director...
Not messing it up.
I would agree to that, but the director really likes storyboard and like creating a story, and like I don't hate the story of Avatar. I think it's honestly kind of interesting.
All right.
Yeah,
Then enjoy.
I'm mostly interested in the movie mainly because of the aesthetics that it has and like the style of the
The
movie.
aesthetics are beautiful.
Like I love the world of Pandora. I love it.
We're kind of getting off topic towards Across the Spider-Verse here.
I was gonna say.
Oh, sorry.
But like the idea of like waiting for a movie and the waiting is like it's worth the wait to go see movies when they actually come out afterwards.
I mean, yeah.
Gosh, I miss long waits though.
Well, I mean, we could go on to. Have we talked about the Nintendo yet?
We'll talk about, like, have we left anything else out about Across the Spider-Verse?
Without going into spoilers, it's hard to say.
The movie's good. Go see it whenever you have the chance. You will not. You will not regret it. That's the end of that. So yes,
right, I'm gonna bounce then.
All right.
See you guys.
Have a good rest of your night. And bam. All right, so this, I think I had a feeling would be the most discussed topic in the entire podcast. Maybe not. That's just my own guess. But yes, this is Nintendo Direct, June 21st. And, oh boy, I did not expect it to be this exciting. So, there's already a big list of titles that we would have to run down. But let's get the biggest things out of the way. Super Mario RPG gets a remake! I was gonna ask, like, there was a suspicious pocket of silence there. Yeah.
Well,
granted, I didn't know the original game, so
I will say
it's coming back.
Go ahead, Raiza.
I will say, if it wasn't for Mario RPG, this direct would have been mid as fuck.
Well,
because like the thing about it is like. This Nintendo Direct was basically their I don't know if it was their E3, but like it was their summer games thing, like what Sony, Xbox, and all that shit did.
It's
and Sony
a replacement for E3, yeah.
And Sony Xbox's like thing were booty butt cheeks anyway. And Nintendo kind of followed the same boat, but the only difference is they brought in a game that people knew they were going to like. And like Super Mario Wonder seems really funny if you want to like play when you're high.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh god, I'm actually might like get really high.
We need to talk about the elephant in the room.
Literally.
Yes, we already are literally. So already there has been numerous memes regarding Elephant Mario, and what also didn't help is there's Elephant Mario and there's Donkey Kong. So Donkey and the elephant. Somebody made a joke out of that.
Conky dong.
If anybody in the chat doesn't get what it is, it's a political joke. Some people will go that far. So I don't know what the elephant does other than just like, oh, it just knocks a Goomba out somewhere. So it's kind of like with if you played Wario Land 3, there's a thing where if Wario eats something, he becomes incredibly large and he moves incredibly slow. And any enemy who touches him, it just knocks him off the screen. So I'm guessing, like, imagine it, like, I'm guessing it's gonna be like a fat joke, sort of like power up. Like, if he jumps, he'll probably like shake the ground or something. I don't know yet. I still had to like. We still have to wait and see what happens next. Vinny's reaction to seeing the elephant was hilarious. Vinny
Vine Sauce, I think.
Oh, Mario in Peachy Derm form. I don't even know.
Huh?
No, I'm trying to.
Pachyderm. I think they meant to say pachyderm.
Oh, pachyderm. Okay.
Man, just use elephant. I don't know what pachyderm is.
Pachyderm is another name for elephant.
Oh, give up.
And there's another word I
Somebody
had to
didn't look
censor.
at animals as a kid.
Oh yeah, that's also another thing. Detective Pikachu.
Yep, Detective Pikachu returns.
Man,
Go ahead.
I have
that
the
was
original-
random.
I saw it in the chat. I'm like, oh yeah, they did say they were coming back with Detective Pikachu, but like I actually have the original Detective Pikachu on the 3DS now, and so like yeah, it's fun. And also, I just remembered that they also releasing DLC for Scarlet and Violet, and I'm just like, why?
I hope that they fix all, like, patched up the glitches that those games have had.
Oh my gosh. Like, Golden, you know the glitches that are in it from my streams. Like, oh, come on. They're not going to fix those.
Lazy.
My concern with the DLC coming out, though, is that are they going to make it affordable for everyone?
So I would say, I think there's a bundle going on for them.
There is, but even like with the last DLC that came out for Scarlet and Violet, it made it the same price as the games when they came out.
I mean, Sword and Shield.
Bruh.
No, for Scarlet and Violet, they had a DLC that came out like last year. Like
Scarlet and Violet has not been out for a year.
Well, you know what I mean. But like they had a DLC that came out not too recently already for it, where they released some other stuff for it, and they made it the exact same price as the games when they came out.
Shouka, I'm gonna be real. I don't know what the heck you're talking about.
Scarlet and Violet has DLC.
I get that, but like,
how many times did you mention that?
What other DLC do they have besides the two they announced?
They had the one come out where they had new paradox forms for certain Pokemon, where you can only get the DLC for those paradox forms.
Are you talking about the Suicune and Virizion thing?
Yeah, that was part of a DLC that came out.
I thought that was a free expansion.
Nope, you had to pay for it.
I'm gonna look that one. I'm a fact check you on that one.
Not gonna lie, like Nintendo is pissing me off a lot lately.
Oh,
Yeah.
How so?
Like literally with their going after the fucking like expansion pass that they made us start paying another $50 in order to access 3D games on the service we're already paying $20 for.
Yeah.
Or if you try playing Platoon and you're trying to play with friends, you'll maybe have one or two matches and then you'll disconnect and have to wait for all your friends to reform the party again. You disconnect because the fucking infrastructure for Nintendo Online is so bad.
It's operated by a Windows 98, isn't it?
I believe I heard that. Yeah,
that was part of the So how that was, there was a thing in Splatoon 2 where there was a data mine of it, and there was a built-in program to detect if it ran on Windows 98. That's the whole story behind it. But the thing about I'm gonna play my Nintendo real quick again. So the biggest problem about Nintendo, they should have announced a new system for this. They should have announced one already. Because right now they have no answer to PS5 or Xbox One X/S, whereas the Xbox S already announced they're going to make a terabyte hard drive for their weaker system to make it better. And it's just like, meanwhile, Nintendo Switch is running on like 5-year-old hardware, like actually probably 8-year-old hardware. Because I'm willing to believe that they didn't pick top of the line hardware for the Switch. And I like the Switch, but if I'm gonna be realistic, if I could have my Xenoblade run on any other system, I would have done it in a freaking heartbeat because that game is beautiful and it is actually a crime if it's run on the Switch.
They need to come out with another system.
Like, I am not surprised you would mention that, but go on.
But like, sorry.
And it's just like, oh, why? Like, the whole the drift control thing, I think is just a crap system. The fact of the matter is, it's just like, yes, it's revolutionary that it's a console / handheld. I mean, I guess it's revolutionary.
Yeah, but we have now, we have the Steam Deck. We have that new Asus thing that's coming out. There's it's not the only market on the town
well, that's what I'm saying.
On the market anymore, you know,
it's a better version of the Switch, and Nintendo doesn't have an answer for it. And they're probably not, knowing Nintendo, they're probably not going to announce a system for another 3 years or so because realistically, the Switch is still their best-selling console.
Next to the Wii and the SNES and the.
No, I'm pretty sure it's past the Wii now.
Yeah, it is.
I know it's past the Wii now, but that's because the thing about the Wii was, all those sales were empty because a lot of the software sales were because your uncle or grandmother would get it, they'd play it for Wii Sports, and then it would collect dust in the back of their TV drawer, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then now the Switch, the problem is we don't know how Nintendo's going to follow this up, and they don't have a great track record, and
It's
it's like,
Nintendo time, baby.
are they gonna go with more of a fun angle, or are they gonna go with another stupid gimmick?
I think what makes me angry about Nintendo the mostly is they have potential to be they have the ability to win console wars every single time, but they are so blinded by their stupidity and old ways that they refuse to change it. And it's just like, bruh,
the old guy.
Why do you purposely make yourself look dumb?
Because it's money.
And I strongly believe, and I'm not trying to be biased with Xenoblade. Xenoblade would have looked gorgeous on any other console or PC. If I could have that game running at like 60 frames per second at like high, at actual like depth quality, heartbeats. I would.
Oh yeah. Console wars are stupid.
Gorgeous, and it's just like it being on the Switch is a crime.
The thing that actually does disappoint me here in this is that console wars actually meant something, because I remember when I was a kid, and a lot of other people who grew up in the 90s would vouch for me on this, that the console wars between Nintendo and Sega were vicious, and they were very creative about it. Like,
what was it? Genesis does with Nintendo.
Genesis does 16-bit sports action. You can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis does what Nintendo, and then blast processing in the early 90s, competing with the Super NES.
Yeah, but that was like, after a while, you just know, okay, these companies don't really give a shit about me. I'll have like this console versus this console, and then after a while, I'm just like,
it lost its value.
Yeah, especially nowadays, it's become so depressing with games who just are so packed full of live service garbage that it completely destroys the foundation of the game, and then they're pulled like a year later or something. And and then you see Nintendo not selling some of their old games, and then they're going after people who try to emulate games that they can no longer buy.
Yeah, I mean, for someone who owns like a console from Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, like, I can say that with the newer PlayStation and Xbox consoles, especially with Xbox, I'm very disappointed in Xbox right now more than anything, because the fact that they came out with two consoles in the same year for Xbox, one of them being one that can be both digital and physical copied, and the fact that they made the other one just digital, it's like you made the other one more reasonable to buy, but only digital, so people couldn't even play the physical copies.
The problem that Xbox did was they made the second one less powerful. Because at least with the PS5, the $100 difference between the two was because you get one that didn't have a disc drive and one that does. And that was it. They were still equally as powerful.
Yeah. So, I guess my thing is just that I think I've told you guys this before, I'm more of a physical game person. I like having discs and cartridges.
No, I like physical cartridges too. Like, physical copies are becoming undervalued now. And
but
I think it was with the Xbox Series S, I think it was, the new one, the one that doesn't have a disc drive. That would have been amazing if they had a disc drive, because it would have made it more affordable. You can get the same experience as the Series X, but they decided, no, we're not going to have a disc drive, because that's just stupid. No one has discs anymore. No, they do.
That's why I'm gonna be real. The whole Nintendo stuff.
I'm gonna be real. I think the fact that they released two separate systems is pretty genius. Sorry, you'll censor me, but like the fact of the matter is, like, they made the Xbox S the way it is just so it can be affordable, and realistically.
But the problem with the Xbox Series S is that it's been factually stated that it's actually bottlenecking the entire generation because of parity, and because it is so much less powerful than both the Xbox Series S and the PlayStation 5 that it's making it harder to develop games that are over 30 FPS because they have to be on matching parity with the Series S.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've heard differently. I know Linus Tech Tips did a video on when he first came out.
When it first came out, but since then developers have stated that we can't do any better because we have to keep parity with this thing. It's kind of bottlenecking us.
I mean, it's still a new generation console for people who can't afford the X one, I personally think that's a good idea because
I think you would just be better off just saving for the X1, and it's not nearly as powerful, and you're maybe looking at just 30 FPS. You're better off just saving up for it, and especially with all these consoles where they're charging you $70 for your games now.
So
no, you go ahead, Golden.
So I think we kind of went off a deep end in regards to like our annoyances with Nintendo instead of looking over the titles themselves.
Yeah.
That's not to say that you guys have a right to call them out on that. Nintendo has a ton of problems in how they're treating their consumers and everything. There's actually a video I saw once where they're very strict on their IPs because they had an issue with Universal over Donkey Kong, and it kind of planted a very cautious seed in their brains. But looking over the rest of the list that's coming out, some people were asking about Sonic Superstars, which is like a 2D.5 type of game.
I think it's really weird that a game isn't online.
Isn't
it on Steam?
I don't care. It's another Sonic game. There's gonna be another Sonic re-release.
Okay.
Well, the thing about it is, like, it's gonna be on Steam, but the fact that there's no like online co-op is really weird to me.
Okay.
But I don't hate it. I think it's still cool, but like, because how everything is online co-op nowadays, it's weird they didn't add that feature.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
probably because Nintendo services suck so bad they can't run it.
So, another title that's on here that caught my interest briefly, and that's because I'm a sucker for old school and Saturday morning cartoons. There's a game called Myth Force.
What in the world is that?
I've seen that trailer.
It looks incredibly silly, but I'm interested.
I'm still waiting for them to like, you know how they've been, you know how Pokemon's been coming up with like new releases or like revamped versions of older titles, like they did with Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl.
I would call that a failed revamp, but continue.
I'm still waiting for them, and maybe that's just me. I'm waiting for them because because someone asked about this in the last podcast we did that I was in the questions area because I didn't get a chance to talk about it. But like it was like what games do we want to see in the newer consoles? And this is probably just me, but Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, I want to see it remade on the Switch.
I really doubt the Coliseum franchise will ever get rebooted because like they were good, but they didn't sell well. They really didn't.
They brought it back in the thing that we pay for Nintendo Switch Online. They brought it back for that thing in the first Coliseum game. So I feel like they could bring Gale of Darkness back, or maybe just bring it back.
Coliseum is on the Switch?
Thing. Yeah. Or Stadium, whatever it is, Stadium.
Oh, but those are two very different games, but yeah.
All
but
right.
like they brought that back. They could easily bring Gale of Darkness onto that as well because one, I don't think we have any GameCube games on the Switch Online at all. And it would be an amazing time to bring it back.
If I'm being real honest, if they did bring it back, I don't want them to bring it back on the Switch. I'd rather than bring it back on a brand new console. Because the thing is, the Nintendo Switch Online expansion is a laughable like mistake anyways, because how much you have to pay for it. Like Nintendo and Sony Xbox do the exact same thing for literally half the price. And I'd rather pay. I'm a hypocrite because I have the expansion pass, but that's because I like playing the 64 games. But it's the fact of the matter is just like, hey, Xbox can do this for like $13 a month. Hey,
and
Sony can do this for $20. Yeah, and Sony's like, hey, we can do this for $25 a month. Nintendo's like, hey, we're doing it for $60 a year, but like in a monthly buy stance, it's cheaper, but it's just like, hey, look at all of these games. Yeah, but only half of them are really just good.
And now they're selling like Tears of the Kingdom for $70. They're charging $70 for a game on 6+ year old hardware that is rapidly aging.
Yeah, I think that's really dumb. I don't get that.
It's just because they can. That's the only reason they can. So they did.
Yeah, it's cringe. Nintendo's
Like
really
I said,
cringe.
like that's probably just me though, wishing that they would bring it back because it was a really good game,
Yeah.
and mainly because I want to see how Shadow Lugia would look in like a 3D model that's better graphics.
Oh, I can tell you, if they did it like that on the Switch or the next Switch or whatever, there won't be a graphic update. Like there wasn't a graphic update on the Nintendo ones. They're trying to keep it as like vintage as possible, like for reminiscence stuff. But like the big thing, like it's the big problem with Nintendo is they can charge whatever they want and they'll still know people will buy it.
Yeah, and they have an iron grip on all their properties, and they have as much money. I mean, have you seen how much money the Mario movie has made?
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw my cents in there since I didn't get to talk about it when I was in the last podcast. So
Okay,
Yeah.
fair. We also have
The Mario RPG.
Yeah, we have Mario RPG. We have Super Mario Wonder. I'm looking forward to both of those. We also have another entry of Hot Wheels called Unleashed 2 Turbocharged.
why is Hot Wheels still a thing?
It's been a thing since like
They
the
had even like a
40s.
They had a Horizons version of Hot Wheels, and I didn't even like that. And it was like, why? Why?
I like Hot Wheels, but I'm old.
Yeah,
maybe it's just
same.
me, but like
Some
maybe
people
it's
like
just me
cars.
because like I don't like cars as it is. So maybe that's just me being
Yeah.
the way
Okay,
I
fair.
am.
That's fair. What else is on here? We have let's see, Princess Peach for the Nintendo Switch. Now, this one I didn't really know about. Like, so I was like, the first time I saw this, I was like, oh, so Peach finally gets a game. And somebody said, correction, second game. There was actually another Peach game on the DS, and I had no idea. I was like, why have I not heard of this game?
If there's not a vibrator joke in this game, I'll be very disappointed.
What the
Like-
Raiza?
Like
No, there was a vibrator joke in the last one.
Are you serious?
I'm not joking.
Oh my! How did Nintendo get away with that?
Because Nintendo.
I
I'll pull up the actual quote right quick.
I need a minute to process this. Oh my god!
to be honest, the Princess Peach game on the DS to me wasn't a really good game. Like I think I had it like for like a day, and then I just gave it away because I'm like I could not play it. Like it was like not a good game to me.
Oh dear God! I need to process that. Yes, I that broke me. That Angel of Speed is right on the money with that one. Yeah, Raiza, your twin brother is right on the money with this.
Well, tell my twin brother I'm finding it first.
But like I feel like Nintendo tries to hide a lot of references in their games now. Even like adult jokes. Like I feel like they did that as well with Pokemon games. Like they've hidden so many different references in those games now.
Oh
like,
dear God! So
so they're not even hiding it anymore half the time. They're like, oh yeah, kids can handle it. Kids can handle these jokes.
So I'm reading the chat, and somebody actually mentioned there's another Pikmin game. Now I have never played any of the Pikmin games. I don't know how good they are.
Pikmin's great.
Well, I'm sure it is. I did hear that the first two Pikmin games are available on the console, and as I may remember, I think there was already a Pikmin 3 for the Switch. Or not?
Batman. Dice mentioned Batman. I am vaguely interested in that now.
Oh yeah, there's the Arkham trilogy. I have yet to play any of them, but I did hear it does have its own following. There is the Metal Gear Solid collection. If I were to be completely honest, like there's a part of me that doesn't show an interest in playing the Metal Gear games because they're extremely long, but I know that they're fun. I know that they're interesting. I tried playing Metal Gear Solid 3 on PS2 and I got frustrated with it. I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you. I do apologize for
You're
that.
welcome.
All
Okay,
right,
I have the entire quote. I got the quote.
Okay.
So the Vibe Scepter has strange, mysterious powers. That's for sure. So how did you feel about this last adventure? One thing about the scepter, no one knows who created it or why, but somewhere, someone might possibly using it right now. What? Your dad got angry at you? Your dad got mad at you the other day, you say? Your mom's been laughing happily a lot lately?
Raiza, was this literally...
Maybe, just maybe, the Vibe Scepter is hidden away in your house somewhere.
No.
Raiza, what the biscuit? Like, are you reading the... What are you reading this off of? Was this a scripted Nintendo Direct? Because I may have...
No,
Go ahead.
I'm literally reading it off Alpharad's, like, Princess Peach playthrough, and it's literally this... And it's the literal ending to the game.
Okay.
No. No.
I'm still trying to process that. Like,
No. Why would they do that? Why?
I'm trying to put myself together.
Now I really don't want to play the original Princess Peach game. I was thinking about rebuying it. No, I don't want to now.
Oh, the ending's so funny. That's like the only reason to play the game.
No.
Anyways, I haven't had the chance to play Metal Gear Solid. I will say this, the soundtrack is absolutely fantastic when it comes to those games. Oh, we got a pocket of silence there. Did I say something wrong?
I broke Shouka.
I don't... That, you
Join
just
the
break
Club Shouka.
I mean, I also don't play Metal Gear. I don't play a lot of games, okay? I'm very picky on my games.
I might try the game Magical Star. Also, like, I'm a big fan of collecting physical copies, so I looked up on eBay, and apparently the original copies sell for like $70 to $80. Good lord.
No.
Magical Star, I've already beaten you to that punch. I'm trying to get him to play it.
No, I know that like other people would want me to play that.
I wasn't going to tell him about the vibrator joke, but then I thought about it. I was like, this stream would be the perfect chance to do it, and it'd be really funny.
Oh, this will be fun to censor the shit out of, and that's another word I have to censor out.
What do you mean, Golden? It's talking about the Vibe Scepter, not a vibrator. It's weird.
Well, now you gotta censor that. Thank you.
Great.
It's not a curse word.
Yeah, they're technically not a curse word. Like, I swear to God, if this gets permanently demonetized because we mentioned that, I will lose hope for YouTube so bad. I mean, as is, YouTube's already spineless, and I've already mentioned that before.
I'm actually, to answer the question in the chat, I actually would, and I know that this was aimed more towards at you, Golden, but like, I would definitely play the Arkham games on my channel. I want to play those. I
would try them first, get the hang of them before I would start the stream. As is, I already have a set of highlight reel ideas that are meant to be set up categorically, and it would just feel out of place to stream like the selected games that people already want.
Yeah.
I'm already like trying to sort things out with future highlight reels. I still have to finish off West of Loathing as part of like with Stick Fight and Henry Stickmin to create its own highlight reel. I still have yet to help some players or some people get the Cowabunga collection for whoever else would be down for TMNT games in the future. And I still have yet to try out Goose Goose Duck, which I hear is a really fun game. We're going off topic really bad.
Why am I hearing in the comments that they're remaking a Barbie game? No,
he misspoke, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
No, I was about to say, if you're remaking a Barbie game from the Game Boy, please leave it alone.
I still remember playing the NES Barbie game. That game was a fever dream.
Wait, they had one on the NES?
Yes, yes. In fact, I streamed it many years ago, and Ellie stole the show near the end.
Send me the link later.
Yeah, I'll send you the link later. I will also leave you with this. Ellie stole the show near the end of it.
Oh,
I'm a Barbie girl.
Raiza, no.
Shut it!
That's why I'm not going to see it. That's why I'm going to see the Barbie movie. I'm not going to see it.
No.
Barbie world.
And I'm just going to go ahead and take care of that.
I was just going to say that. Can you mute him, please? Anyways, did we talk enough about the Direct or no?
Well, I've been trying to go over the list, and not many of you had much to say. I was surprised that you guys, didn't show much enthusiasm. To be?
I forgot the rest of the words.
Oh.
But yeah, out of all the things that they mentioned in the Direct, like I said, I tend to gravitate towards certain games that they mention. Like Pokemon, I'm all for Pokemon. You know this.
Yeah.
And it's like, other than that, like, there's not a lot of games that interest me when they come out unless I hear really good things about them or if they have a huge following in, like, fandoms. Because, like, if it's not in my interest, you're not going to see me playing it.
Well, let's see what else we got here. Polya, Persona 5 Tactica, Splatoon 3 Splatfest, Detective Pikachu Returns. I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
Visually enhanced Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon for the Switch.
I actually am tempted about that game because I heard the original Luigi's Mansion games are really good. I've never played them personally, but I'm interested in it.
I just played the first one. That's the one I really care about.
I hear it's really good. It didn't really sell very well at the release of it. Like, that was the first, like, launch title. Like, the GameCube was had a bit of a weird spot for that.
I'll be right back. I gotta use the restroom.
Thunder Kid, I also want to point out that I'm being very selective on what games to stream to match with the highlight reels that I'm making categorically.
Yeah.
So if you're saying, can you stream this? Can you stream that? Okay, what kind of connection does it have to the ones I'm working on?
Yeah, because I get asked that a lot too. Like, can you stream this game? I'm like, first of all, do I own this game? Second of all, can you see me reacting to the stuff that I do already? Because like, Golden, you've been a part of my streams. Yeah. You see how I am. It's like I only stream certain games right now.
Yeah, and also like, I do want to let you know, chat. I appreciate the enthusiasm and support, but also keep in mind we have our limitations because of the circumstances we're dealing with.
Yeah.
What else do we have? Gloomhaven. Just Dance 2024 edition. No, thank you.
Oh, I love Just Dance. I have every single Just Dance game from the Wii and on. So.
All right. Silent Hope, Fae Farm, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2, Manic Mechanics, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope DLC 2.
Is it just me, or am I surprised we have not gotten another Animal Crossing game?
I think Animal Crossing needs to become a bit out of date.
Well, because like we only got New Leaf, and that was it New Leaf or New Horizons? I think it was, which one came out on the Switch? I say this and I have one, but like I can't remember. After we got that one on the Switch, we haven't gotten a new Animal Crossing game since then. Oh, we lost Ryley again.
Oh, great. What else do we have here? Pikmin 4, Metal Gear Solid, Vampire Survivors, Headbangers.
That actually sounds interesting.
Okay.
The vampire game sounds interesting.
All right.
I got kicked for some reason.
How?
It doesn't like you, Ryley. It doesn't like you.
Apparently.
Maybe it's because you're too quiet, probably.
Let's see. Headbangers Rhythm Royale. Penny's Big Breakaway. Some more for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like, how long has Mario Kart 8 been out for?
I don't know, but like I've never been a fan of Mario
came
Kart.
out on the Wii U.
I've never been a fan of Mario Kart at all.
It debuted on the Wii U. That's how long it's been out.
Oh boy.
The Wii U wasn't really good for games either, so.
Now, the next is Star Ocean, the second story R. WarioWare Move It. Anything involving Wario, I would love to see another Wario Land type of game where you go around, you're collecting treasure and such. That was such a satisfying game. It just was.
Yeah.
And I'm now just thinking about Steven, the Wario kid. Wario Punch, Wario Pile Driver.
Oh,
my mustache is deem that you get my Wario steam. That still kills me.
Have we gotten a Kirby game on the Switch yet, or no?
There was that Yarn game.
But I mean, I thought that was on the 3DS.
I could be mistaken.
The Kirby's Epic Yarn, no, it wasn't on 3DS.
Okay, maybe I'm just stupid then. I don't remember. But like, I feel like we haven't gotten a Kirby game in a while on the Switch either, like Animal Crossing.
Nintendo Live 2023. Amiibo figures of Zelda and Ganondorf from Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Apparently, Keyframe actually has an appreciation for Amiibo figures because they're toy figures that you can also use to like put into your game. Like that sounds like a cute idea.
I am
like
still waiting for the Sora amiibo, Nintendo.
Okay, calm down there, Kingdom Hearts
Ryley.
fanboy.
I get my Xenoblade one
need it.
first, and then you get Sora.
What?
I didn't stutter.
Now we gotta censor that.
I'm gonna beat your head in with a Keyblade.
I already have a good Keyblade. Come at me, bro.
Sit down there, Keyblade boy.
In Minecraft.
I will sit in between
Yes,
you
in
guys to make
Minecraft.
sure you don't kill each other.
He started it.
Did I really say amoeba? I meant amiibo.
Same thing.
I am out of touch with humanity.
I think we
Oh,
all are at this point.
All right, so I think we touched upon a lot of things we did like talking about. Not much to say for other titles from Nintendo Direct. I honestly thought you guys would have been a lot more excited to talk about this stuff, but I
I'm gonna be real.
Go ahead.
I only cared about Mario RPG. The rest of it kind of sucked.
I'm interested in Super Mario Wonder.
I am excited about Mario RPG, not gonna lie, because I never played the original. And the fact that Yoko Shimomura is coming back. And if you don't know who Yoko Shimomura is, he's also the person who did the soundtrack for Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, I was mostly interested in Detective Pikachu because Pokemon.
Okay, so
You did the
apparently
OST.
we're apparently a lot more selective on that. I guess in the future reference, if anybody in the chat asks about these games, because I tried to go with that, I might consider that for the next time we talk about a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
I would I definitely want to get Detective Pikachu to play it on my channel.
Sure.
I'll make
sure.
correct myself. I'm kind of looking forward to Mario Wonders because it seems like funny to play when you're high. But like that Mario RPG, I was gonna be interested in Princess Peach game, but they didn't really show anything to me to get excited about.
I'm more worried that they're gonna have the same type of reference that you already told us about, and it's gonna
And they should.
No.
Yes.
No, I would ban that.
We get it, Shouka. You don't like funny things.
No, it's like they're putting this in a game that's meant for kids. Why would you do that?
They've done worse.
I know, but still,
Hey,
no.
how's it going?
I mean, I am looking forward to being able to play the Metal Gear Solid collection again. Maybe not on the Switch, but when it releases on Steam and stuff.
I
Like
doubt
I've never
the Switch
played.
can run it.
Okay.
I have never played the original Metal Gear Solid games, even though I owned the first one on PS1. So
Can we just answer David's question in the chat really fast about what game do you want to see remake? I already said it. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness remake.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Ryley, you had that game maybe like 500 times anyway.
I play Kingdom Hearts 2.
Eh.
I want to see it remade with even more.
I want. It's a hard question for me because the only reason I want to say Xenoblade 2 because I want to see it done on a better system. That's my only reason.
I only want to.
2017.
Yeah, but it was made on the Switch.
It was 2017.
I only want to.
Yeah, and it was made on the Switch.
It's like how they're making a live action adaptation of Moana. We don't need it.
I only want to see them remake XD Gale of Darkness is because my only gripe about it on the GameCube is that there's a lot of joystick drift in it, and I feel like they could fix that at least with a remake.
Nintendo fixing joystick drift.
I mean,
I
like,
come back to.
well, because David asked us what game we want to see remade, and I'm like, I only want to see XD Gale of Darkness remade because the original game on the GameCube has like a lot of joystick drifts, and when you try to move to one area, it moves you in the completely opposite direction that you need to go.
I said Xenoblade 2, so it won't be running on a crappy system.
I want them to release the Wind Waker HD thing they did for Wii U on Switch. I never got to play that.
Oh yeah. What game do you want to see remade?
What game do I want to see remade?
Yeah.
Super Metroid.
I could see that.
I feel like that's more of an opportunity. Like that's more of a thing that I could see that happening. And I feel like mine is just like a hope and pray that I want it to happen.
All right.
And then don't screw us over with Diamond and Pearl again.
Okay.
Oh, so... Spy said a good one. Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So we've been on this topic for quite a while. I'm ready to move on to the Q&A.
Yeah.
All right.
We were all very passionate about Nintendo stuff.
Nintendo sucks.
Like there's a reason. There's a reason why I like to make. There's a reason why I like. I like making topics related to Nintendo Direct because I know that a lot of us are passionate about it. I didn't expect to have a very negative sort of feeling about it. You know?
I mean, recently a lot of their games that came out have not been good.
Well,
I'm gonna disagree on
Nintendo
that
is
one.
one of those companies where they are equally frustrating but lovable at the same time because
they're the Disney of video games.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They focus on fun and stuff overall, but
Yeah,
their
like-
business decisions are so stupid.
It's
They
sort of
are.
like, remember how I was talking about My Stream Golden, like how like there's so many glitches and all that in Scarlet and Violet because they released it too soon,
Yeah.
and like they didn't even bother fixing those problems before they released it.
They still don't.
No, every update
It
that they
still
have
hasn't been
doesn't even.
fixed.
Every update that they have doesn't fix it.
It,
Again.
they're like, oh, they fixed them. They fixed the mechanics for the music, and that's
all right,
it.
first game. So, which games are you excited for from Summer Game Fest? I'm guessing that's from Steam?
That's from the thing that just announced recently, like the Xbox and PlayStation thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I guess you guys have more of the floor on that one.
I don't know what that is, so I'm staying out of
It's
that.
basically all the games that were announced over the past month. I
Oh,
guess
like on
Starfield
any-
a bit if it comes out on
Are
like
you-
I don't.
PC Game
My
Pass.
my answer would be Spider-Man 2,
Are we talking
but
about on any
realistically,
console?
that wasn't really
Yeah,
announced at Summer
Anything that was
Games.
announced this past month.
Oh, okay, so then I do have one to talk about, and I
Okay.
think this is for Xbox because I'm very excited about it. Phasmophobia coming to the Xbox for
Knowing you, I am
think it-
not surprised.
Because like now we have an excuse to play Phasmophobia.
I now just imagine your Alicordo C just having like this like crazy face, like you ready to go into the mansion?
Oh god, I want to do that with all your guys' vectors in there. Just be like, have a crazy face, and all of you are like, oh no.
Where's my proton pack? That's what I'd say.
Yeah, Phasmophobia. Looking forward to it. I'm very excited because I don't have to buy it on Steam now.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say Spider-Man 2 only because they showed gameplay of it and it looked nice. But
I'm
technically,
gonna
that
see
was
it.
announced way before then. So my answer, if I can't say Spider-Man 2, I'm gonna say nothing.
I still need to play
Welcome.
the Spider-Man from PS4.
Also, welcome Mr. Tiny Corn Dog with what is that? I think a bird holding chips.
That's
I didn't mean to laugh at that name. I'm sorry. It's just it's so funny when you just say it out of context.
Well, welcome to the stream. That's a first time viewer. Cool. So I don't have much to ask about that. So ask all. What is your favorite mainland's Pokemon game?
Mainline. I think they mean mainline Pokemon
Must
game.
have been a typo.
Mine. I think everyone can agree with me. Pokemon Soul Silver.
I never
Okay.
played the Soul games, unfortunately.
Soul Silver is amazing. It brought out the Pokewalker thing, and like you can walk around with your Pokemon, which in my opinion is a lot more better than what they tried to do with Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. And like even though it's in like the old graphics, those games, like they look amazing still to this day. I love playing them.
Okay.
mine would be
good.
Diamond and Pearl because I like Diamond and Pearl and Platinum. The games were good, Pokemon were good, the story was pretty good. Good game.
Yeah.
Always have a soft spot for the second generation, being able to go back to Kanto and all that, you know?
That is pretty cool.
The only thing Raiza that I have to say about Diamond and Pearl is that I like Platinum. I like Platinum more than those two because they expanded the Pokedex.
Well, I mean, like, if I'm saying Diamond and Pearl, I'm basically saying all three. I mean, because there's literally no difference between them besides the Giratina part.
Okay.
Well, actually, no. In Platinum, they expanded the Pokedex because
I mean,
there wasn't a good variety of the Pokemon in those games. So
Okay, now, wait, whoa, what did you just say now?
there wasn't a good variety of Pokemon in Diamond and Diamond and Pearl. Like Platinum had more of a variety of Pokemon you can find in the wild, and like
Oh, you're gonna have to censor me a lot, Golden. We're about to fight. We're about to
I
fight.
think we have
Yeah,
other
let's-
questions in the
Yeah,
chat
let's
to
save
get
this
to.
for another time. Like other people want their questions answered. So, what was your reaction to Mario turning into Elefario, as I call him? I just wait to see what happens. That's all
Furry
it is.
bait.
Yeah, so ask all who's your favorite character from any fighting game?
Specifically from a fighting game, huh?
Yeah, not Smash Brothers.
Like,
I mean, I was gonna say, do you classify Smash Brothers as a fighting game?
No, because those are all exist in their own other games. I think I mean, originated from fighting games. You know,
I guess Ryu or Guile from Street Fighter.
He's the only one that really comes to mind when I think of like.
Yeah, like Street Fighter is like the most recognized title in regards to fighting games.
Like, I think I love Mortal Kombat, and so I love Melina. She's my favorite.
I heard the new Street Fighter is actually pretty good and accessible for people. Like, you don't need to remember all the different button combos and.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I like the Ruby characters from Blaze Blue because they're pretty cool to play.
Okay. What was the next one? Are you interested in Metroid being made into a TV series and it will be an adaptation of the Metroid game? You know what? I'm open to that instead of a movie because there is so much lore in Metroid that if you're going to try to make it into a movie, you would have to make it into a set of movies. And even then, I'm still very cautious about it because when it comes to game adaptations, we've already learned a lot from the garbage Halo series.
It depends on the writing. It really honestly, just depends on the writing.
I feel like the way Metroid is written, they can literally just have their own unique story and it'd still be good. If I'm being truly honest.
That's kind of repeating the same mistake with other game adaptations. Why not just follow that story? You know, it's like following a book. Yeah.
Well, I think it's just how Metroid is, like, what Metroid is. Like, I know there's a story to it, but, like, I feel like the story, like, I think it's enough for still have, like, their own unique idea. But the only difference is use the resources they have to, like, still add stuff from point A to point B into their own unique twist. The only difference is the Halo's thing is, the only difference between that and Halo is they ignored the resources. I think Metroid has enough where you can do their own unique story, but still work.
They would have to figure out a good characterization for like Samus and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
All right. So
I mean, like,
go ahead.
Oh, that's it.
Okay, so the next question from Magical Star. If you got hired to be in charge of a company you're frustrated with, what's the one thing you would do to make it better? I don't know how to answer that.
That is a complicated question.
That is very like, I have two different answers. If I was in charge of a video game company, I would change a lot of things with Nintendo. If I was in charge of Disney, I don't think I need to go into further detail there.
Yeah, to stop all their live remakes.
Depends on whether I'd be allowed to make the
and also bring back hand-drawn animation.
Yes,
in some form at least.
I would just bully Nintendo associates.
Do something with the tree you developed with Paperman.
What's the next question? Tell all through some fond memories of Dragon Warrior series. I don't even know.
I used the Dragon Quest series, but it was known as Dragon Warriors Pure in the like the 90s and stuff.
Okay.
I remember having like Dragon Warriors Monsters as a kid, which was basically like their version of Pokemon to a degree.
I never played Dragon Quest outside playing as Hero and Smash. And I just whacking people.
You of all people never played Dragon Quest. I would think out of all of us in this call, you would have been the one to play Dragon Quest, not gonna lie.
Never did.
You seem to be a big RPG guy.
I've only crackled people and whacked people in Smash.
Alright, next question. Ask all. If there was a death battle episode between Fuji from Mortal Kombat versus Janitz from King of Fighters, who would win? I don't care. I don't watch Death Battle.
I don't know either character, so
yeah.
Oh, Golden. Dino Mike asked me and you questions.
Well, I'm also. Well, I'm trying to go over them as fast as I can.
Yeah. We can't do every one. We gotta do the ones that we can get the most conversation out of.
What game that you streamed in the past was your favorite? That's a tough question. Time Spinner.
And was that the light rail game back in the day?
No, that was the orb menu joke.
All right.
my one of my other favorites was when I was streaming Super Metroid and what was it called? Freedom Planet. Mostly because of Solar ripping ass. I will never forget that.
You think you would be able to like stream Metroid Prime or nah?
No, not yet.
That's a lot of things.
Yeah,
to
I'm
stream.
still trying to work with a capture card.
There.
See if you're gonna. Huge fan of the Metroidvania games. Did I forget anything? No, it looks like we went over every question so far. Oh,
all right, people,
Shouka.
any more questions?
Shouka, you have a question. What's your favorite box legendary Pokemon?
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I like Miraidon from Violet.
The fucking ball Pokemon.
No,
The box Pokemon is in the Pokemon on the like cover art of the game and
Yeah,
stuff. You know?
and like you're probably thinking of the one that Logic said had looked like that.
No, that's Miraidon.
No, he said that Koraidon looked like that.
No, that's Miraidon.
Okay, if we're going legendaries though,
Yeah, I like Miraidon just because its wheels can actually be used. Koraidon's wheels can't be used.
Miraidon's dope.
Koraidon just no. Why give it a wheel aesthetic if you can't ride it with the wheels going like Miraidon?
Shouka, I'm
Lugia.
sorry about your opinion, but I'm going to have to say Koraidon's better.
How dare.
Sorry.
So, another question. Do you think it's time for a brand new Soul Calibur game or an actual remake or remaster of Soul Calibur 2 for modern platforms? I don't know, and I haven't been up to date with Soul Calibur.
I haven't played a Soul Calibur game since GameCube.
I kind of think that because I know we had Soul Calibur 6, I think it was recently. I wouldn't mind Soul Calibur 4 being remade because like that was honestly a really good Soul Calibur game because it was on the PS3 and the Xbox 360.
I can see them going back to Soul Calibur 1 during a master of that. I'd be okay with that.
Favorite evolution? Mine would be Espeon.
Espeon.
For the shiny. I hate Espeon shiny.
I can agree with you on that, but mine is shiny Umbreon all the way.
All right. So, we're going to go with one more question whenever one comes. And we're going to try to find one that might be suitable for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Let's say I like your Uno stream, mainly because Vlad's breakdown.
I love it too, even though I came after that happened.
Yeah, everybody loves that.
One.
Suck it, mother.
If someone wants to ask that last question soon, because I have to go help my grandma with something.
Yeah, and I had to go and call Chrissy. She called me earlier, and I had to tell her like, "Oh, I'll have to call you back. I'm in the middle of a podcast," and I kind of like. Oof, that was a very difficult moment there.
Yeah.
One more question. I don't have anything to say about evolutions. Okay, here we are. What is your favorite DreamWorks and Pixar villain? Okay, so for DreamWorks, I have to say Death. That's kind of cliche at that point. For Disney and Pixar villain, oof. That's the thing about Pixar. Pixar barely has any villains.
But is Death really a villain? I don't consider him a villain.
He's a force of nature, not a villain.
For DreamWorks, I tend to not watch a lot of DreamWorks movies, but the ones I do watch, I think my favorite villain would have to be I don't know if you consider him a villain because of like the kind of movie it is, but from Spirit Sailing of the Cimarron, I really like the Colonel from that movie just because it's based on real life of what would happen in the West, you know, what they would do with horses, but like the fact that he doesn't have much speaking lines, but when he does, oh my gosh, is he intimidating. But for Disney, I would have to say my favorite villain, and maybe it's just me, but like I really did enjoy oh my gosh. I like Scar from The Lion King.
Well, Lord Shen from DreamWorks is definitely a good one. Like he has definitely one of the most interesting like pathos for a villain in DreamWorks. Like you can see the humanity or like whatever you call the
guys. I think she was asking about Pixar directly.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, she said Pixar and Disney Pixar. DreamWorks and Disney/Pixar.
Okay, so Galaxy, I think you could have just said from DreamWorks, Disney, and Pixar because you put the slash in there, and that gives an indication you're talking about just Pixar directly.
I think either or Pixar or regular Disney movie, you know.
Okay,
doesn't have to.
I'm gonna go ahead and head off, guys, because I have to go help my grandma. But
All right,
I will talk to you guys at the next time we stream.
Yep.
Bye.
Let's see,
Bye.
Fairy Godmother from Pixar villain Hopper.
I'm gonna Popper from Bugs Life.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Jack Horner from Puss in Boots because he was hilarious.
Yeah, he was voiced by John Mulaney, wasn't he?
I think so.
Okay.
There's also Ramses from Prince of Egypt.
I think my Disney/Pixar, huh? I'm gonna say either the dude from Hunchback or Dr. Facilier from Princess and the Frog.
Frollo or Dr. Facilier.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. Frollo's terrifying.
Frodo was a great villain, and
he
so
was voiced by
Doctor.
Tony J.
May he rest.
May he rest in peace.
Judge Claude Frollo. Okay, so if there were, I would have to. Okay, so if I had to make a second choice for DreamWorks, I would have to say the whatever his name was from the Prince of Egypt, mostly because I like that movie. I can't say Ramses. I can't say much about How to Train Your Dragon because I remember that their antagonist was a very, very threatening dragon. And
in the first one, yeah, but like in the sequels, they had more interesting villain-ish. Honestly, the villain in the 2 and 3 kind of meshed together to me a bit.
I only seen the first, and like I've seen the second one once in theaters, and I don't have much of a memory with that one, so I wouldn't know. I did like what's his name, the Boogeyman from Rise of the Guardians.
Oh, yeah, that movie is so underrated. It has probably my favorite depiction of Santa Claus, you know?
Yeah. You don't watch How to Train Your Dragon for the villain, you watch it for Toothless.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So that's kind of a hard answer. For Pixar, that's also a difficult answer because Pixar barely had any villains. I did like Syndrome, or
Syndrome, but yeah.
Yeah, and what was afterwards? There was Cars, Ratatouille. They didn't have villains. They had jerks, but not villains.
Then they had twist villains, and then they had family.
There was technically a villain in Ratatouille.
Who?
Technically, the the midget chef.
Oh, the short owner of the yeah.
He was technically a villain.
Who was trying to like market the shit out of that restaurant?
He was trying to market the chef, and like he was trying to like. Oh, you weren't. And then he was trying to like get rid of the Linguini.
He
was he was trying to get rid of him because he was descendant to that chef.
God, Ratatouille is probably one of my favorite Pixar films. No lie.
Ratatouille's pretty good.
Like I don't know if Otto would count as a villain. He's just following his direct orders. There was that one explorer guy from Up. That one was a bit.
Who's actually named after Charles Muntz,
Darwin,
the guy who kind of betrayed Disney and went over to Universal with Oswald, I believe, back in the 30s.
Oof.
It was a reference to him.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, that kind of is. There was lots of hugging from Toy Story 3. He was a weak villain.
I don't think he was weak.
I mean, he just lied to everybody, feeling betrayed.
Oh, he was like a school bully, literally.
Yeah. Charles Muntz.
And there was Charles Muntz.
So what came out afterwards? There was Cars 2. There was boy, I lost track of the Pixar titles after that. Like I said, it's really difficult.
Turning Red, Brave.
You see, Turning Red didn't have like a villain. Like the closest that would be a villain would be the mother, but the mother was just a very troubled character to.
No, there was a real villain in turning red.
And Brave, technically, I wouldn't even
trauma.
call like
Yeah.
Brave didn't really have a villain either.
So it's really hard to like, yeah. So it's really hard to pinpoint though. So, as far as like the main Disney Streamline animated films, I would have to say Frollo. Like, as much as I love The Lion King, Frollo to me is an untoppable like villain. Like, this dude is terrifying, even when he like lets his get to him. Yes, I know what I said.
I know.
All right, so I think it's time we wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
that's a good villain too.
Yeah, so we're wrapping everything up. Obviously, Shouka left. Dusk came in and come and gone. Raiza, Ryley, if you guys have any final words to say, any preferred social media you guys have.
If you haven't seen Spider-Verse, see it already, and if you have, go show Elemental some love, because it may not be nearly as good as Spider-Verse, but I think it's pretty
I'm not
decent.
gonna lie, every time I hear the name Elemental, I think of that Prince Whatever song. Elemental, Elemental, Elemental. But
I got nothing.
Alright. The energy crisis will get worse because of you. Oh, Monsters Inc.
Waternose was a good villain.
Yeah, I nearly forgot about him. You see, it's like I don't watch the Pixar movie for the villains for some reason. But thank you guys for sticking around, and I hope that this was a good Pride Month for you guys. I did want to give support to that this month. I guess I'll have to wait until next year now, but I will do whatever it is that I can. Like, I have friends who are also LGBTP, I got a bunch of these friends, and I want to give support to them. And in general, we live in a day and age where we got to respect those who are much more open. You know, that's just me wanting to make the world a better place. And as I'm saying that, I got a pocket of silence.
Oh, I'm just listening.
Yeah, I'm kind of spent. I'm gonna head off too.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.